right, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging.
We're
Hearts,
live.
Defenders of Kobold, Griven Pear. We're all here playing
Woo.
games. We're not live, so thank you for checking us out on YouTube or on Twitch VOD, because I'll upload it there as well. But yeah, we decided to play this one offline tonight. We're gonna continue off where we finished last week, which was in the Haven of Hallow, if you recall. So to do the big recap, you all started in Athane, got a job to go down and figure out what was going ahead and doing all these terrible things to these professors and theologists. You figured it out, sort of. Found a big old crab. So walked across an ocean, got fished up out of the sea into a completely different desolate area, traveled across a desert, met some weird lady who had Chuck's face, not Chuck's face, but Morthos's face.
Yeah.
He has a second Morthos. Zerk met a grandmother or an aunt?
An aunt.
He has
an auntie.
An auntie who invited him to eat these various former delvers who had apparently made it to the center of the heart, she says. To give him some knowledge. Let's see. Kethras along the way has picked up a chest that with these special spectacles reveal that it's a egg of some kind, a writhing, colorful rainbow egg, a very big one, scaly. Let's see. What else? Duvesa lost her pig, found her pig, -1 head.
Yes.
Let's see. Tarnished. Let's see. What do we do with Tarnished?
I didn't do a whole lot recently.
Yeah, I don't think we gotta remedy that in this episode.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Everybody needs a chance to shine.
so you all eventually made it to Hallow. While here, you helped out some witches, where these demonic rabbits were ripping through their herbs in one of their behind one of their homes. Some were better than others at that. Chuck tried to light himself on fire all the time.
I developed a fear of rabbits.
It's important to know that Chuck's carrying around a greeting card in his pocket, which is actually his own severed head.
That's true.
Yeah. Yes, important detail.
It's
Yep.
true.
I assume it's basically like Monty Python. Like I knew that rabbit was coming to knock my head right off, and I'm just like,
Look at the bones. Yeah. Look at
look at the bones.
So we're in Hallow. This is Duvace's hometown, sort of. Being a witch, this is the city of witches, or where most witches congregate. So I'm trying to think if there's any major beats. We had a choice. So you guys had a choice. Like, are you gonna try to get back to Athane, or are we gonna go to Moongrove? And so I think the decision before we logged off last time was to go back to Athane. And you guys have a general idea of what that's going to take. So we're going to start in Hallow. And we'll start, actually, strangely enough, and this is not because I just said this, but we're going to start with Tarnished. As Duvesa is, you see congregating in the middle of this town, this kind of dark, broken down cathedral within a cavern. You see all sorts of weird, colorful vegetation, vines writhing. All of the women that are the witches that make up these various little cafe settings have different familiars on their shoulders and on their grounds, some of which are recognizable creatures, others are not at all. You can see that she's dragged off, not physically, just chatting wise with some others.
Yeah.
But Tarnished, the woman, we'll call her Midler, whose home that you charged in so valiantly. She comes up to you as you're lingering around, and she hands you a sack, and you can see that the sack is got like this brownish red liquid dripping out beneath it, and she says, "For your trouble, dear," and hands it over to you.
Thank you kindly.
If you peek inside, you can see that there is about a dozen decomposing rat heads. So you can put down, you have a bag of rat heads, freshly cut, D6, occult and deteriorating. Which is make sure you use them quickly. They go bad in like 3, maybe 4 days, so be careful.
Okay.
And she invites you to one of these little cafe settings, because like there's all these little like small little groupings of tables where people are drinking and eating. And since one of these groups of women gets up and leaves, like there's a space, and so she has you sit down, and she says, "So, what brings you to Hallow, dear?"
Me, myself?
Yes.
Or us as a group?
I don't care about them. You're the heroic one who came running forth and then kept running for reasons.
Kept on going.
But I appreciate the vigor.
Yeah, a little too much excitement, I think, this time around. I primarily just seek adventure. I came from sort of a posh life and grew weary of it.
Adventure? And have you found it by moving around with these fellows and the kind witchwoman?
Plenty of it, in fact. Many sights and sounds and creatures and battles and some really odd things too. Things that you never see.
I see. Yes. Well, I wonder if I could, if you'd be a dear, to offer me one more favor, if that's all right. Could I beg of you? I need a guinea pig, so it was.
Sure.
And so,
for what sort of work?
You see her turn around, and she like picks up this this crate of all these different like alchemical mortar pestle stuff. She starts taking it out, and you see her start. Oh, just a little taste test, if you don't mind. It'll be fine, I promise. And so she puts it together, and so you see her just start mixing some things, and she slides after like a good 2 minutes or so of putting together various ingredients. She says, "Here, give this a taste, will you?" And she gives you a nice little drink in a very attractive looking ceramic mug.
All right, I'll give it a little smell first.
Okay, go ahead and roll an Endure Occult if you decide to drink it.
Okay.
Bottoms up, dear.
Let's see. I don't think I have either of those things, so this will be fantastic, I'm sure. It was.
Okay, so you'll go ahead and take D6, so one echo stress.
All right.
Do you have
have
any protection there?
I do not, but that puts me at a 2.
I will go ahead and roll.
Hopefully I'll make it.
And you're okay, I think, right? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yep.
Gotta move where I got my dice up. I don't know where I put it over there for. Okay. And so you drink it. It's a little. It tastes like vegetables. It tastes like you're drinking a V8 a little bit. And so I call it the running rabbit in rum. Yes, it's a rabbit that runs, and I put rum in it, and I put ground rabbit in it. What do you think?
It's got a pretty interesting flavor profile.
Well, you inspired me. Your running was just so magnificent. So, and I like alliteration.
I'll make sure to continue running.
Yes.
Onwards.
Yes. And so we'll cut over to then Duvesa. I did what I could. Duvesa, you're brought aside by a couple of the women you would know from your time here in the Heart. Specifically, you're brought by Najimi, a heavy-set woman with a wonderful kind of off brown, almost greenish hair, who leads you into. She says, "They all had the same voice, so get over it." Dear, you've been away for so long. It's probably prudent that you join into one of our ritualistic circles, as one does when they are in Hallow, aside from your companions there. Are you leaving again soon?
I will be. I have a message that needs to be delivered, and this is but a stop in our journey. However, I will be happy to take you up on the offer. We have been on the move, and I have not had a chance to take a proper break.
Right. I wasn't really listening, but anyway, into the tent with you. And not a tent, it's more like a hut. And you go inside, there's like a couple other women that are sitting there, and they're starting to pass around, some sort of pipe. Don't bogart the pipe, puff, puff, pass, sweetheart. And so go ahead and roll and endure occult.
All right, I've got both of those, so... Nine.
Okay. And so you inhale it, no problem, and you sit around for a little bit, kind of waiting for it to kind of go, and it doesn't take too long, and they're just kind of talking about regular things that you've heard, little rumors, where they've been, various issues that they've been having with the locals, emissaries coming and visiting them, looking to trade again down from tier 3 and everything. But eventually you can feel it start to kind of take over, and your eyes start to flutter a little bit, and then you are just somewhere else. And you don't know how long you're gone for, but you have this kind of waking vision. During this time, you see like little, almost like a zoetrope of all of the different things that you've gone before. This flickering of fast images of things you've seen: the pig, the desert town, the copy of Morthos. You can see Zerk disappearing into a gravestone. All of those types of things. But eventually, you settle in on an image that you are unfamiliar with, and you are in a room. All of a sudden, a very large room, sterile room, quiet room. And it feels very and surprisingly clean for the heart, especially since everywhere you go there's grime or gristle or something that's pouring through the walls. And when you kind of sniff, you realize there's not a single scent except for this tiny little odor that just wafts down at you just at the very, very back end. At the center of the room, and this is all kind of a little bit fuzzy for you, you see these large gears that are intertwined, that are currently stationary. And you can see them in all sorts of different angles connecting with one another, kind of a steampunk or a engine of some kind. And they're all built up out of this large, flat, and seamless floor. And when you look past them, you can see behind them, built into the wall, there's this massive stained glass door with metallic trim. And when I say massive, I mean it's quite literally dozens of feet high and wide. And the light itself of the stain, and the colors are beautifully etched, beautifully done. It would have to be a master craftsman who would have had to have spent years putting this together. And that's when you suddenly hear the ticking of the gears, and you look over, you can see the gears are beginning to move, and then you feel and hear something above you. When you look up, you can see these 3 platforms suddenly that are a good 50 to 100 feet above your head are beginning to rotate kind of around the room, and you hear the sounds of like footsteps, almost like sneakers squeaking on like freshly mopped tile floor. And then you notice that a staircase begins to build itself out of, again, that flat, seamless floor that just kind of goes up and winds around this room until it reaches those platforms. And then you can hear those footsteps coming down, and you see a group of people. And when you zoom in, they're very vague. There's kind of like this fuzziness to them, but you can't help but recognize the dress of some of your companions and yourself. And when you follow them, like maybe you call out, you say something, but they don't respond, they walk right up to this door, this massive door, and they stand at it. And that's when you start to see it begin to open, like shh, and this flooding of light just begins to overwhelm you, and they are swallowed up by it immediately. You're not sure if it's just so bright that they're covering, or if something happened to them at the opening. And then as the light gets to you, your eyes go purely white. And then suddenly you're woken from your vision by the same woman who brought you in to the hut.
Alrighty.
And that's going to take a while for her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kethras. as the rest of you, as Tarnished Steel has made a friend with a witch bartender, and as Duvesa has disappeared, Kethras, you're wandering around a little bit, and you notice there is a fairly lovely-looking well that's got this peculiar color water in it. When you get up close to it, you can see it's a very old circular well. Almost looks out of place considering there's no vegetation surrounding it. When you look in the water itself, it's just red water. And while you're standing next to it, you hear a couple soft footsteps, almost like muffled slippers moving across, like shuffling and shuffling. And you hear a behind you. Everyone's got the same voice. And you turn around and you see this taller than you, slender individual with hair and skin effectively the same color of white, these big blue pale eyes, and they have on the same kind of robes that you've seen from some of the other emissaries of your masters that you've seen before. They look at you and they say, I come with concerns from our shared masters. They are concerned that your lack of recent communication might be signs of a fracturing of your loyalty.
Not at all. It's just we've not really been going the path we've been trying to go for a while. A lot of things have been popping up, and I haven't really had a chance to get my bearings yet.
Well, I'm certain that will be an insufficient explanation for them, as you well know, but if perhaps there was some sort of act of fealty or gift, perhaps I could deliver to them for you. That could go a great distance towards assuaging their concerns.
Understand. I don't have really anything on me at the moment, so if they have anything that needs done.
So what I'm basically doing is I'm calling back to the fact that you owe them like a D8 from a beat like 2 episodes ago or something.
Right.
Do you have a resource that you can hand over?
Oh, fuck. I don't want to hand that over.
I know you don't want to hand the egg over. But...
I don't want to hand over my other.
What kind
Oh wait,
You greedy.
I do have the Ashplane squid.
There you go.
I can handle that. No, I forgot that I got the squid.
Okay.
I thought the only other one I had was the spectacles. It's like I really don't want to give those up.
So it was like the ink, right? Like the ink from the squid or something?
Yeah, it was one that I'd scavenged when we were in the Ashen Plain.
Well, we certainly shall not say no to potentially harvesting more ink for our scripture.
And so they will hold out these like greedy little hands, small hands for someone so large, and wait for you to hand it over and look at you.
Did they smell like cabbage?
They smell a little like cabbage.
Small hands smell like cabbage. Carnies.
Can't trust him, man.
We've been watching Carnival on HBO because HBO Max just dropped. Oh, God.
Oh, that's a good show,
Such
man.
a good show. God.
It was phenomenal. It's a crime that only lasted 2 seasons.
Yeah. Do you hand it over, Kethras?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So there we
That's
go.
him.
So
I honestly forgot I had that.
it's all good. Jeff, I went back and checked a lot of my notes. I'm like, okay, I got to get my shit in order.
I had it written down, but I just didn't have it like expanded enough.
Okay, so for Morthos and Zerk, everyone kind of scatters for a little while around this area. It's mostly homes and like little huts here and there, but there is a central courtyard area. There is a sort of general store trader woman named Lydia Fallcastle who can exchange goods. You could treat her as a supplies haunt if you want to get supplies back. Purchase things, anything like that from her.
I need to get supplies back, please.
Okay. So what kind of resources do you have on you?
That is a great question.
She can take up to D6.
I have a parchment trinket
Okay.
and my freshly harvested heart that still occasionally twitches.
That is entirely up to you which one you would want to give across. They have number like how big are they? Like what's their die size?
D6 for both.
Okay. It's up to you. Do either of them have like any sort of tags like deteriorating or something that or niche or?
No, neither of them have tags.
Then it's up to you. Whichever one you want to.
I will get rid of the parchment.
Okay.
They gave me a haven a D6.
Okay. So then go ahead and roll a d6 and recover that many supply stress.
Good enough.
Okay.
All right.
Not too bad.
All right.
Take it.
And so then, again, there's 2 other haunts, Chuck, if you are at all interested. If you start wandering around, there's the Red Well that you see Kethras talking to some strange tall man. That's
Question about that well with the red water. Is it like opaque or can you see through it?
You can't see through it, yeah. You cannot.
Okay.
But if you linger around it, and if Morthos you go by as well, some friendly local witch will explain with great curiosity at the 2 of you that it is a bit of like a wishing well. Toss something in, get something back.
Wow.
Ooh.
By get something back, it's more of like
Right,
good
fortune
luck,
or something.
karma type of thing. It's a fortune.
Mhm.
Is a fortune haunt. So and it'll take up to D10. So if you want
Wow.
to, if that interests anybody.
Is there any way I can exchange like a D6 for 2D4s or something like that?
No, it would be 2d4s would quite literally be a d8. So
A D8.
yeah.
Is there anything less than a D4?
D4 is the lowest. D4, D6,
What do you-
D8, D10, D12.
What do you need? I can spot you a little bit.
Well, so I have a D6 resource and I have supply stress, but it's only 1 point.
I can give you this greeting card you gave me. That's a D4.
No, you got to have that.
Oh, okay. I got some.
Re-gifting. Ugh.
Yeah.
I got some oil.
I got that for you.
It's a
I
D4.
Okay. I'd like to get rid of that. Just 1 point. And there's no blood haunts here, correct?
There was. Hang on, let me check my notes. No, there's not. But you can always heal yourselves with blood. That's one thing I was talking about with Melissa the other day. Is mend can heal blood and bind, and don't forget that anyone can use mend. It's just if somebody actually has the skill mend, they just get more dice when they roll a check. So anyone can.
Does
heal
anyone have
Oh.
mend?
I do. So
I'm-
once I'm
I'm
done
hurt for 3.
with my
Okay.
She has to
Yeah, I
quite
can-
literally be in a trance for hours. So
yeah,
we'll
that's
fast
my
forward.
beat.
Don't worry. We'll fast forward.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that real time.
It's going to be the whole session.
All right, you can leave. That's fine.
I know. Just go grab a magazine. Let me know.
There you go. Yeah, Joe. If you want, I got a D4 oil I'm not using. You can take that.
All right. I'll spot you for it later.
Cool.
Because I have some
I'll
occult
actually note.
that I could trade out
It is-
as well.
Technology. Is that okay?
It's fine here. This one doesn't specifically require a type.
Okay.
Some haunts do. This one doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if we've got downtime, the big thing I would want to do is just, ask around about Bernthos.
Okay. When you start asking around to some of the various groups, you meet a small group of 3 women. Introduce themselves as Pfeiffer, Sarandon, and Sarkeesian. And they're very curious about talking to you when you bring up a copy of yourself. Each one of them has familiars. One of them looks very much like a monkey, another very traditionally like a cat, and the third one just looks like a mouth, and it's just sort of flopping around in some sort of ineffectual way. And it's Sarandon, this kind of red-haired, curly woman, big eyes.
She says, how much would you want for that one?
No. I don't want to sell him. He's my friend. We have to figure out how to rejoin.
Rejoin. So
That's what someone else told me, is that we gotta like fuse back together somehow,
Yeah, just like in Dragon Ball Z.
just like in Dragon Ball Z.
She kind of holds her hand up to you, almost like she's looking at a great distance.
Yes, you do appear fractured.
And the others start leaning over, like,
Yes, he's just breaking along the seams. Look at him. How is he even walking like this? It's amazing.
That's why we need to join back up.
Yes, well, that's probably something a bit beyond our capabilities, unfortunately. But I will tell you, though, I think there's more than just the two of you. There's a great deal. Would you like to have your palm read? If I could perhaps get a more tactile reading on you, I could perhaps reveal.
Sure.
Oh, excellent.
and they all start giggling.
Do you need like any kind of like payment?
Oh, a D4 could perhaps.
She doesn't actually say D4, but that's basically.
Yeah. I get you.
A little tip wouldn't hurt.
I'll
definitely
tell
want
you
to
what.
tip well.
I got this greeting card.
Always about the damn greeting card.
It's the only D4 I got.
She grabs. She's like,
This isn't a greeting card.
Yeah, it is. My buddy over there gave it to me from the shop that kind of
they all
got caught on fire.
They all look over at Kethras and they look at each other and they just start cackling wildly.
Sure.
Finger gun.
Certainly. Of course it's a D4. Of course it's a greeting card.
So go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and let's make this as they begin to kind of delve into your minds. They grab one hand of yours, one hand of Bernthos, and they're kind of looking at them. The other two are chanting weird ritualistic words. Go ahead and make this a endure occult test.
Okay.
Might take one of my drinks over with me and watch this. Could
There
be
we
fun.
go. There we go.
And so
From what I could see, it's not just a. If you looked closely at this one, he's a bit younger than you, I think. Yes.
I hadn't.
and so they start like kind of cleaning him up a bit. Like,
Look at him. See where you have your crow's feet. This one is smooth.
and they start opening his mouth, and like he's got all of his teeth, and they all look kind of a little bit newer, and maybe yours are a little crooked or you're missing one.
Yes, this one too.
And they grab and kind of pull on your arms and look at the wrinkles around your elbow. Really just point out all of like your middle-aged issues, right?
Not only is there something wrong with you, you're also old.
This one's much younger. If I were you, I would be on the lookout perhaps for one of a different age as well. Maybe one older, maybe one very young. It seems that you're...
They kind of look again really closely, really getting in there.
Yes, you went through some ordeal. How much do you remember?
And they just like flick you in the forehead.
How far back is it?
I don't remember any crazy ordeal.
What is the furthest memory you have?
I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, I think.
Yes, that makes sense, yes. There's a gap in here. Can't you hear it? It's like a hollow bit. Listen. Listen for the echo. Yes, there's something missing in here.
I do have, and I would hold up my memory of another Morthos.
Oh, that's perhaps
I do have
useful.
this.
How very interesting.
It fell out of his ear.
If you find more of these, perhaps you could put them together and fill that little gap of yours.
Yeah. Do I need to like drink it?
Oh, it wouldn't hurt. Or maybe it would. I don't really know. But
Pour it into your own ear now.
no, yeah, yes, you have to put it into your head in some way, and what in your ear, up your nose, through your eye, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
Yes, but yes, big hole right in the forehead, giant one, even bigger than normal.
Thank you.
You got it, dude.
And then go ahead and you said it was a D4 you gave over.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a D4 and take that. And do you have any echo damage or anything?
No, the only stress I have right now is just blood, so I'm good everywhere else.
Go ahead and roll D4. Take some blood back. It's fine.
Sure.
I don't want to give you nothing. There you go.
There we go.
Okay. So after a few hours, everyone meets back up in the Hallow. Got some downtime, some rest, got some supplies, and unless things have changed, I believe you guys were looking to start heading back to Athane. What's up, Duesa?
What should I roll along with Mend for the heal check on Kethras?
Oh, Kethras. What is this? Blood?
Yeah.
And it was this damage you took from the rabbits.
I don't think I took any from the rabbits. That was blood. I've had it for a while.
Okay. We'll just treat it as Haven since you're in a Haven. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't recall specifically either what that damage was.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Never mind. I failed.
Okay. So you can go ahead, take 5 points of we'll call it fortune stress as you begin to doubt your own abilities.
Okay, I'm going to use something.
Okay.
Let me find it.
Drugs.
So in the blood, once per situation, when you take stress to any resistance other than echo, you can allocate it to echo.
Okay. So you want that on Echo instead?
So what was the total?
5.
Gosh darn it.
And I rolled a 5. And I rolled a 5.
Equal.
Okay. So let's pull up the old. So this is going to be Echo then. You're taking an Echo minor. If there's anyone in particular that you think would make sense, go ahead and call it out. But
I already have a major echo.
well, it's a good thing you don't have 2 major echoes, or otherwise we'd be in critical territory, possibly. All right. So
Is it if you get 2 critical in the same category?
it's
Or
not
two
even.
major
It
in the
doesn't
same
have to be the
category?
same category. 2 major can turn into a critical. It's not like an automatic thing. It's just if it makes sense and everyone's okay with it. They say it's negotiable.
Yeah.
What about Conduit seems to be like ongoing like forever. So I don't know that I want to volunteer for that one. You can't use any echo protection.
I like Hexai because you just had a trance. You had some weird visions.
Okay.
Your visions swim, and maybe that's why you screwed up as you tried to heal him, and you had some kind of residue from your trance, and you suddenly got foggy to your eyes, and everything kind of screwed up. So your visions.
Any action that I do requires accurate judging of distance becomes risky, but also once per session you see something useful,
Yeah.
ask the GM what it is.
Yeah. So hold me to that. Hold me to that, because I'll forget. All right. So you get, as you're talking amongst the people in Hallow, you get some general directions on how you could get back to Athane. There's a handful of stations, Vermissian stations that you could go through. Some tunnels, some receding attempts at like urbanizing the tunnels between these stations as well. But they tell you to make your way to Well Station, and then from Well Station you can get to Grip Station, and then from Grip Station you can get all the way back to Athane. So unless there's anything else anyone wants to do here, we'll begin at Delph.
All the way.
All right.
Yeah, I think we'll begin the Delph. And now I
Let's
have a sword
delve.
and a shield.
Okay. So
Such excitement.
You climb, you climb down these ornate, old, beautiful stairs that lead up to Hallow, where the kind of broken down cathedral was, where the witches made their home, and you begin your path through this kind of heavily mossy, mildewy tunnel. And as you're going by, you can see little blooms of flowers suddenly perk up as you pass by and like kind of follow you, as almost like their eyes in a Scooby-Doo painting. And you can see that some of them have teeth that are suddenly popping out of their petals, and they snap away at Bernthos specifically, and then at Kethras as well as you walk past. But eventually, that vegetation begins to become almost overwhelming. As you can see, there's all sorts of brambles that begin to block your path. You can see a couple concrete or stone columns and posts that have been tilted over in certain places here and there. But it's just this giant mass of tangled, and your path is a little bit broken. So someone has to kind of navigate their way through this effectively chaotic maze of vines and thorns and stone. Who wants to take the first stab?
Real quick before that, I tried to do my Crimson Mirror as we were kind of going out.
Okay.
And I failed, and I take stress. So not only am I not helpful, I'm getting more stress already.
Take 1 point of echo as
Forgiving dice rolls.
That'll be fine. I've got protection.
Okay. All right. So who wants to take the lead and try to get the party through this bramble?
What domain is this?
So this you can do occult. You could do. I'll take Warren since it's kind of a tight area, and then it would be Delve.
I've got Delve.
I've got
I-
Delve
all
and
of
Warren.
them.
I've got Delve and Occult, but I think I'm going to be too busy trying to protect Bernthos.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're going to be too busy burning all of these brambles.
Oh, no, I got to keep Bernthos safe.
I thought you were going to be too busy worrying about how you were called old and dumb and like fractured. Sad face.
You're going to be walking through there and you're going to be doing like this on your head and then on his head. And
So Zerk can take the lead if somebody wants to give him a hand. Can assist him?
Yeah,
if
I'll
they
take
have
the lead.
A domain or a skill can assist him.
I can assist with the cult.
Okay. So maybe you're pointing out like which of these pieces of vines don't go near those because they'll eat you or that kind of thing.
I can assist with Warren.
So we'll say the three of you step forward as Morthos is holding back the snapping of these flowers. Tarnish is probably smashing my way with shields. So go ahead, Matt. You've got one die like normal, one for the skill, one for the domain, and then 2 assists. So that's 5
Two assists.
dice.
And what is the skill I can pull on for this? Sorry,
This is Delve.
Delve. All right.
This should be 5. I think it's 5 by my count.
Yeah, 5 dice.
If you fail this. All right. So a
I'll use the
7.
stupid roller in there, but that works. 7.
there you go.
Okay. So
Need some stress.
yeah, it's going to be stress. So as you're moving through, it's easy to just get a shirt caught or a bag caught on some of these brambles. You can also get a little tiny cut as well. So go ahead, take 2 points of blood as you just come through. You manage to cut through a path, like kind of hacking your way, like you're in a jungle with a machete. It's a good 15 minutes to the other side. But when you get there, you can see that you have all sorts of cuts on your arm, blood kind of pouring out. And go ahead and roll a d4 to do your damage to unless you have a delve equipment that allows you to do more.
To do what? Sorry.
Do you have a piece of delving equipment that has? So it should say if you have something, it should be under your equipment,
Okay.
and you
Should have the Delve
and
tag.
it should have the delve tag, just like kill.
Ah, got you. Yeah.
Do you have something?
Nope. Nothing with delve on it.
All right, then just d4.
Unless my new giant bow has it. No.
You shoot your way.
You-
Dose.
Got it. Okay. So, as the path opens forward and you manage to find a kind of a route going up a little bit. This narrow, twisting tunnel that extends a bit. The vegetation doesn't really die off, and eventually you come to this long, much wider tunnel, and you can see that the vines themselves they're smaller, but they're more plentiful, and you can see them crisscrossing along the ground, flattened. And it's not even them that sort of concerns you. Instead, you see all of these creatures of varying shapes and sizes, peculiar deformities and oddities, writhing about. You can't tell if they're caught within the vines. You can't tell if they're just moving around. Dufesa, you would probably recognize these as like failed familiars that didn't quite... There's something wrong with them. Maybe they lost their witch, or maybe they didn't quite get summoned correctly. Maybe the heart has manifested them here for whatever reason. And the minute you all get close, relatively close, some of them begin to break off and start to lumber over to you, like kind of clingy in your direction. Thoughts on getting past this?
Fire.
Okay, that's not a bad start. I was gonna say I can maybe try and push through and make a path with my big door.
Okay.
Make a path with fire.
So we could do both. So we can
I'll light your shield on fire.
That'd be cool, actually.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. So we'll say you probably have like in your supplies a little container of like lantern oil. Just smother some lantern oil on the shield, light it
There
up.
you go.
When you come busting forward. So this can be. I'll take. Obviously, I'll take Delve again because you're just moving forward. If you want, because it's not really so much as evade, you're just trying to knock them down. So I'll take Delve. You can take an assist die from Morthos.
Okay.
You can take Cursed if you have it.
yes.
Okay.
That's fortunate. So I think four for the pool.
Should be so it sounds like you said yes to everything and then plus your default. Yep. Okay.
There we go.
So as this thing lights up, you just watch as Tarnished just chugs, and he just like a
Train
raptor
moving the wrong direction.
like a raptor running through a field, and you could see all of the different things just start peeling out to the sides, left and right, and some of them are scorched, some of them just run away. Others cling at your ankles and stuff, like no, take her. And you can see that there's quite literally a blazoned path that you can get through.
Nice.
When you get to the end and pass through this, Morthos, you notice that there's something sticking to Tarnished-Steel's shield.
A little bit of stuff got melted onto it.
Hey man, you got a little bit of a dingleberry there on the front of your shield. You should
I got some schmutz on my shield.
take care of that.
So as you peel it or scrape it off, maybe Duvesa, you would know this isn't something you should really throw away necessarily. This could be useful. And so you did so well. You have so much stuff. You can go ahead and take a D10 cursed resources. You have you have the charred familiar remains, but this is deteriorating. So both this and your rat heads that you have are both deteriorating, meaning that they could degrade over time.
Okay. I did actually want to check and see if anybody could benefit from that D6 occult when we get some time. But
okay. Do you have any delve items? Any delve equipment?
I do.
Okay. What die size?
1d6.
Roll a d6.
2. Still a 2.
All right. We'll slowly get in there. Okay.
Slow and steady.
As you pass through here, you continue to kind of slowly ascend this rocky terrain, and then eventually you come to a stairwell. However, this stairwell is actually moving. You can see when you come up to it, Tarnished, maybe you're out in front still, you can see that despite the fact that it's this kind of graying stone, you can see that they're just sort of sliding upwards like it's an escalator.
The stairs of escalation. I have heard of these.
And you can see that occasionally, like it'll kind of stop momentarily, like shutter, and then it'll keep going again.
Too many kids been dropping stuff on them.
As you start riding it for a while, You get up fairly high to the top, and you're trying to see exactly where it goes. And that's when you realize that the stairwell itself has actually, towards the top, has detached itself from the walls, and it's just this stairwell that's going up into the air. And you can see below you, there's all sorts of buildings that are kind of organized in some kind of plaza, many of which are broken down. You see holes in the roofs and things like that. You also see some fairly large technical contraption. You would recognize it as some kind of turbine, probably from your time studying the Vermissian. And you can see that with the direction that this escalator is taking you, when you get to the end, it's going to drop you directly about 100 feet down to that turbine.
We're on the...
And you're on this escalator that is just...
We're on the escalator to hell.
Yeah. And it's not... And there doesn't seem to be... There's no down. It just goes up to the top and then drops you off.
Oh, good. So there's nothing other than just this escalator
It's just
to
going.
drop us in there.
Just turn around and walk back down.
I'll
absolutely
warn
can.
everybody
Run.
So
that this is about to drop us off in something that's probably going to kill us.
So you run back down a little bit, and you can probably cut maybe about 25 feet off, but there's still about a 75-foot drop down to that plaza of buildings. And you don't see any easy way down. There's no other staircase going down. There's no easy ladder. It's a fairly sheer cliff wall that the escalator kind of goes beyond.
Departs from.
Yeah, so still would require some sort of way to climb down. And not only that, but you can tell that the wall, despite being sheer, has also got these the vines are still there. Those writhing vines, fewer and fewer the further you progress, but they're still there.
Terrifying.
Who would like to figure out a way down?
Would Bernthos mind attempting? No, not Bernthos. Morthos. Mind trying to maybe burn some of the vines away to clear the wall?
Well, do these vines that are writhing seem dangerous?
You've noticed that they've snapped at Bernthos, but they have been getting smaller and smaller the farther away you've gotten from Hallow. Like when you guys were really close, those are the same thorny vines that were thick and that Zerk had to cut through. And now they're much thinner, but they're still here.
Are they still thorned?
From where you can tell, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But they have mouths?
Yeah, occasionally you'll see a bloom, like a little tiny bloom, like a hibiscus bloom, and it'll open up and they have these small mouths. Again, much smaller, probably not as easily you would probably say it's a little bit more easily avoidable. It's the type of thing that if something went really wrong with your roll, bad shit could happen. But
I wonder if we could offer it
Bernthos,
if we have any
work.
I hold
food or
Bernthos
anything.
protectively,
if we have any food or
like a bag of rat heads.
rodents.
Do you have a
or
bag of rat
anything.
heads? I could offer that resource.
Maybe we
out
could
there.
feed it and then it would leave us be as we climb down it, maybe.
I'm willing to put in for that.
Sure.
Okay.
In particular, I have something that seems snackable.
We'll say downgrade the resource by 1 dice size. So you don't have to get rid of the whole thing, but just downgrade it 1.
It's a D6,
So downgrade it to a D4.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Then who wants to try to blaze the path going down? Who wants to do the climb check? It's a delve
Same
check.
thing.
Delve.
I can again if we want.
I can also.
What's the domain?
This one I would take. I'll take Haven, since it seems to be you realize that it's one of the reasons it's such a flat wall is that it's not a rock wall. It's more like a kind of a brick. Like it's refined.
I have both again. I don't know if anybody else does.
I have Delve. I can help you with that.
So we'll say if Tarnish gives Zerk the heads to help, that you can get an assist die for that. And
I'm gonna just take a little nibble off the heads before.
Okay.
That's totally fine.
What did I give you for that? What did I say was the
I don't
Colt.
recall.
tags?
Oh,
I was looking for the
Colt and deteriorating.
Right. Okay. So go ahead and roll your check.
Oh, baby.
So now
that rat
Very
snack
nice.
made all the difference.
Yeah.
because
Now I have a full stomach.
because it was a crit, you can go ahead and roll a d6 instead to do damage to the delve.
Hey, 3 is better than 2.
Yeah.
Move on
So
up.
all of you follow the path, climbing down. You can see that the rat heads are being passed and pulled apart by the different blooms, and all of you are able to get down pretty quickly. You are, from what you can tell, Tarnish should probably know this, being a Vermissian knight. This seems to have been at one point the intention of this area was like some kind of commercial plaza that people who are waiting at certain stations could kind of come to, waiting for trains. But this looks to have been long since abandoned, and you can see areas where the tunnel and the heart have begun to retake it, with there not being enough inhabitants to kind of their belief to keep it in its existence. But a lot of the buildings still exist. As you're walking through, you can see a handful of storefront signs that are still there. Some still flickering with mage light, almost like neon, basically. Kethras, you notice a restaurant that you might have like a chain, like Applebee's or something. And there's a pawn shop as well. Those are the two that seem to be in decent condition. Those two buildings. All the other buildings are kind of crumbled in.
We see people anywhere, or just the buildings?
When you peek over at the restaurant and you look inside the window, you do see silhouettes of people.
Might be worth actually checking some of these buildings out.
Duvesa, and I realize this is going to come across as sexist, but it's because I forgot that there was a third one. You see a clothing store. So I didn't mean it like that. But there seems to be a baby cat. No, there's a cat. That's great. So,
Babies R Us.
those are the three
I
buildings
think
that
of the
appear-
distant past now.
We still got them up here, baby. Another reason to come to Canada. Toys R Us and Babies R Us.
Oh, they still live on in Canada.
Oh, they still exist.
I'll tell you,
Fantastic.
as a
news.
kid,
The promised land.
I never liked Toys R Us because I didn't like the way that Jeffrey spelled his name. Because I don't approve of the G. I just don't approve.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
That's totally fair.
So, but 3 places to look at if you guys want to poke around, look for some resources, anything like that.
In real life, I hate clothes shopping, but I'll go for the clothing store.
I want to check out that pawn shop.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
about that pawn shop.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so we'll do the pawn shop first, since it's just majority. You head over to the pawn shop, and there is a latticed front door that's got a very clear open, please come in sign.
And we go.
You go in, and you can hear as you come in, like somewhere in the distance, this sound of like a ding dong, but not like a bell, like almost like a digitized in some way, and it's like it's being pumped into the area from some kind of intercom. You see a variety of displays of rubbish and trash and refuse and all sorts of discarded items that at first glance seem completely useless. But then when you look off to your right, and the room's not particularly big, you can see a glowing glass encased counter. And then you can see also a kind of a metal shutter, almost like a safety shutter, but you can't see through it, that's standing right behind it. But this little glass case, almost like it's like something from like a jewelry store, right? And it's lit up, and you can see there's much finer looking items inside.
I'll go over there and check that shit out.
Yeah.
And so you go
Yeah,
over,
shiny stuff.
and it looks like there's a handful of interesting items in here. There looks to be like there's a fairly nice looking revolver of some kind. There is this kind of peculiar looking item that almost looks like a barbecue fork, because it's like this long, and then there's 2 prongs at the end, but you can see there's some kind of switch on the handle as if you do something with it.
Ooh.
And then there's this mirror. These 3 items. Those are the only things that are intact. There's a couple other things, but they look all busted and crap. The entire cabinet is encased in these little rings of light, these little mage lights that flicker. Sometimes they come in and out, but they still seem to be working, and that gives the whole room a little bit of glow.
Like lean over the counter slightly and knock and say, "Hello, anyone here?"
And
I'm
Yeah.
really fascinated with the lights.
I'll
And
yell out.
You
Just,
go ahead. What do you
I
yell?
was gonna say, yeah, I yell out a greeting too. With he starts yelling, I'll yell too.
You hear someone just get up and cough into the and it just like echoes throughout the room.
Well, customers, customers, welcome to me shop. Powell's Pawns on Powell.
Ah, and these are your pawns.
Yes, right you are, sir. Feel free to browse around if you have any questions. Just holler them out.
How much for this mirror?
You like that mirror, do you?
Yeah.
And he, basically it's like a D6. So
Is it not too much at all?
What does it do?
It reflects your image. Yes.
Yes, how much for the fork?
Does it reflect it literally or figuratively? Or...
It reflects your image, but your best self.
Ah,
Yeah.
Look into it. Look into it.
Ooh.
yeah. I want to. Can I peer through it through the glass of the counter?
And so you see a very brief reflection of yourself of before you died, when you were kind of still, before you kind of became a Deadwalker.
And he's like, sir, please. There's no freebies here. The fork, you say, good man.
Yes, the fork.
That one. If you're an explorer type, this one is very useful. Could assist you greatly as you navigate the intricacies of the heart. Yes.
How so?
Well, there's a button, and then it does something. I don't know what, but a very, very intelligent Vermissian sage traded it for a carton of smokes years ago. But it's still working.
How much?
I would want
The equivalent of a D6. So whatever you could either. So what that means is that you could either trade something, or you could take supply stress and buy it, so to speak.
I'll pull out my squishy, bloody, beating heart, and I'll look at the fork, and I'll look at him, and I'll hold it out. It's a D6,
Okay.
and I'll offer it up.
And then you'll see a tray pop out from the bottom of that shut thing. And he'll
Yep.
And so
put in the tray, please.
All right, I'll lick it one last time before I let it go, and I'll drop it into the tray.
and then the tray gets pulled, and then you see like a door slide open, a little panel slide behind the cabinet, and you see this grimy, like horribly wrapped hand, looks gangrene almost, reach into it, shaking the whole time, grabs the fork, and then closes the door. And then moments later, you can see the door opens up, and you have a fork. You have a radar fork, Delve D6.
Radar.
That sounds exciting.
Yes.
I'll ask the dude if this revolver here works.
It does. Yes, it works quite well. Indeed, it
Oh.
does.
I'll trade you my 2 single shot pistols for your revolver.
How much? What's the
They
die
are
size?
kill D8.
Okay. He thinks about it. He's like,
This is
are there any tags on those?
Ranged loud 1 shot.
Okay. He thinks about it.
you have a deal.
There we go.
So same process. He wants to
Yeah.
ends. And you get so you get it's a D8 kill, and it's got brutal. Which
Nice.
Ooh.
basically means you roll 2 damage dice and take the higher.
There we
Nice.
go.
That's stacks, by the way. So if there's other ways you get brutal, by the way, you can just keep rolling extra die.
Wow.
That's pretty slick.
That's brutal.
Worth
Man.
it. Worth it.
And I'm definitely interested in that mirror.
Okay.
I'll pull out my bell from the other shop. I think this place could use a little bit of charm. Didn't.
Are you saying it doesn't have charm?
No, it has some. It's pretty great, but
It is
This-
pretty great. I've worked here many years.
I know, and that's I like it, and I want to help you out.
I have put my literal blood, sweat, tears, bone, flesh, hair,
It's a
body
wonderful aroma.
dry skin,
Yeah,
eyelashes into this shop.
absolutely.
A
So
bell. What does it
Eyelashes
do?
in particular stand
that's
out.
why I'd like to. I feel like this is the right place to trust you with this bell. Adds a little bit of something extra on top when people come in.
So what is the bell?
D6 cursed.
Okay. Okay. So he thinks about it for a moment. He doesn't let go of the intercom button as he's thinking. He talks to him. Should I get it? I don't know. Should I get it? Like as if he's trying to consider exactly whether it's worth doing.
Just gonna jingle it a little bit.
You can go ahead and he'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you exchange the item reluctantly, and so you have it's actually a kill item, D6 distressing, which means it does damage to mind. So
Oh,
literally hold it up in someone's face, and you make them realize how young they used to be. So
oh,
We should make
That's-
Bernthos look at that.
not what I expected.
Yeah.
by the way, forgot this. It's also ranged, Morthos, the revolver.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, kill D6 mind.
Yeah.
Any other tags? on it?
Distressing.
Occult.
Distressing.
Oh, I'm sorry, cursed. Sorry, cursed. I bet.
Cursed.
Okay. I often get occult and accursed confused.
Yeah, they're close.
Okay. So Tarnished, Duvesa, where are you two at?
I'm in the clothing store.
All right. I'll be in the clothing store also.
Okay. When you two go in, you notice that there are a lot of racks of clothing. You
No
see,
one goes it alone into
the-
the clothing store.
it also appears to be very well stocked. You can see all of these racks, these circular racks, these hanging racks. You can see mannequins with people, like little shapes of drow-shaped figures wearing clothes. But when you peer closely, you start getting a little bit closer and looking at some of these racks, and there's like a register as well, and like a little place to check out. You notice something very peculiar. All of these clothes aren't clothes. They appear to be skin.
Oh no.
Sorry.
They're selling Edgar suits
Sorry,
here.
Chuck.
Are they
Uh,
Morthos skins?
Oh no.
if you start flipping through it, you can. But there's at least there's two circular racks and there's one wall rack, and there's probably a good 24 of these things. You can see there's like an employee only area in the back as well. And then there's
So
a
I'm
counter
gonna
with the
go-
register.
I'm going to go up to the counter
Okay.
and see if they buy clothing for store credit.
You actually don't see anyone working at the counter.
Yeah, like a little
Oh.
bell we can ring.
Look for a bell.
Sure, there's a bell.
Ring a ding ding.
Okay. And you hear all sorts of things crashing in the back by that employee area. And then moments later, you see a figure appear, this shadowy figure in the doorway steps out.
Yeah.
And just begins to slowly take a step and then drag their leg, take a step and drag their leg. When they get close, you realize their eyes are like pitch black. Their face is all contorted.
Yeah.
And they
Hello
have this
there.
Big old
Good day.
cleaver. They just keep walking up to you.
Ma'am?
And And they
Hello.
hold the
I'm taking
cleaver
a step
up.
back so that I'm out of cleaver range.
Go ahead and roll an evade test. As you can see that as this person gets close, you realize they are blooded.
Okay.
So they have been changed and altered by the heart. This poor salesperson. So this will be evade cursed.
Almost as bad as a real salesperson.
One of those. Very true.
Where's your return section? Okay. So as you try to step away, they have this big old knife kind of cleaver thing, and they just hack down at you. And they will.
Assuming you're flavoring for blood, I'll interject on this.
It is 3 points of blood because they're literally cutting. So you can go ahead and interject. Okay. Sure. You step in front, cling, and it just clinks right off your shield. Do you mark anything?
I do not in this case.
So I won't roll for fallout. What do you two want to do? This thing seems aggressive.
I'll true form and try to fight if you're up for it, Tarnished-Steel.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll have a more interesting story.
I will turn into my drippy, fleshed, skeletal fire tornado.
Sounds good.
Nice. I'll let you act first if you'd like.
And then I will... What am I doing?
Because I'm just going to try and murder.
Sure.
And that's not very exciting sounding.
Are you doing a kill test here?
Yeah, I'm trying to
I'll let Melissa go first. So
I'm trying to see how I'm comboing a couple things, because when I turn into my true form, that means that I roll with mastery on hunt and skill checks. Additionally, though,
kill checks.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, that's an extra dice, basically.
And then additionally, I just picked up Exsanguinate.
Okay.
The spell functions as a weapon with the following tags: kill d6 ranged.
Okay.
Nice.
So I want to do both of those things.
Okay. Okay. So you're rolling. So go ahead.
So I'm rolling a kill check with mastery.
It's kill cursed. Do you have cursed?
I have neither of those technically. I just have the weapon.
Okay. So then you'll
roll
2d10. One
okay.
For,
but I
one
am
for base
rolling
and one
mastery.
for mastery. Yeah. 2d10.
Okay.
One for mastery. One for. All right. So go ahead and roll 2d10 to try to attack this thing. Okay. Go ahead and roll your stress damage.
Sorry. So I'm not used to this new skill yet. All right. So it's a d6.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
That's so. You managed to claw through it. So what exactly? Like you're just like sucking the blood out of this thing, exsanguinate? Are you like doing a vampire thing right here? Are you a vampire tornado?
I hope so. That sounds awesome.
Because I feel like the blood is going to come from it, and the blood is just going to join my blood tornado.
I feel that's exactly what's going to happen too.
That sounds exciting and terrifying.
In the process,
you get a front row seat.
I know. It's probably like going around me.
In the process of doing so, you realize that the blood that you're sucking from this is sort of tainted and strange, and you'll go ahead and take 4 points of echo stress as well from that.
Okay.
You did pass, but you said take stress. And so a fallout check of 11, I think you're good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Tarnish, you got something you want to do?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and
still standing, but it's definitely like wobbly at this point.
I'll go ahead and just give a swing with my new fancy sword.
All right, kill cursed.
Yep, I get to roll with 3. We'll see if it's enough. Yes.
Nice.
There it is.
What damage does your sword do?
It is a D8.
So roll a D10 because that's a critical. So D10 for this. All right.
5 isn't bad.
And we've
matched on
right
damage.
Through it.
Just
yeah. So this thing suddenly it's getting all its blood drained from it, and then you just finish it off with one fell swoop, and it falls down to the ground. You start fishing through it. There's 2 things on it that's kind of interesting. It's a fairly poor quality. It's not a very great looking knife, but it's like a D6. Equipment, if anybody needed like actual kill equipment, you can use that. And then
we'll see if everybody needs that.
And then you can see that there's like they're wearing some sort of nice pendant that could be a D6 item, D6 resource, I should say.
I'm willing to give that one to you if you'd like it.
Sure, I'll take it.
I've been lucky tonight on equipment so far, so I'm not in desperate need.
Any tags on it?
That one, just Haven. The necklace.
Okay.
So when you look about the room, you peek out into the employee section. You don't see anybody else. You do, however, see kind of a peculiar fleshy sculpture in the back area. Why don't you roll, if somebody wants, you can roll either a discern or a delve cursed check.
I could do delve and cursed.
Go for it.
Go right ahead. I only have one.
Okay. Nice.
Ooh.
You would
Not bad.
you would guess that this might be some kind of effigy, perhaps built by a butcher, a very large and dangerous heart's-blooded creature that, should you all encounter, would pose far more of a challenge than this small singular employee.
Would there be? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say they don't appear to be around here right now, but they don't usually range far from this. They have a tendency to take like chunks of flesh, and you can see there's just like holes. It's basically heart flesh, but then there's periodic places where it's like a part of that effigy has been patched with just the flesh of a drow or the flesh of an Aelfir or something like that, as if they're trying to sit. So usually a butcher, like, they fed on the heart, and in doing so they kind of went crazy from it.
Would there be any merit to destroying this?
Could probably make it quite angry. And how well they hunt you is a different question. Like, they might be able to track you down, they might not, who knows.
That might be a question to pose to the party at large.
Okay.
Before I sign us up for extra danger flavor.
So you peel back out into the plaza. Mostly, again, there's only the one other, which is like that restaurant that had the silhouettes of people. Other than that, everything else is pretty rummage. Nothing too fascinating to look at.
Unless I wanted to take a suit of skin.
You can take a suit of skin if you want, sure.
Do it.
What
We'll
is
all
the,
get our Edgar's finest.
Oh no, that's Morthos skin.
Well, it's not necessarily. It could be.
I hope it is.
I'm gonna have to burn that shop down too.
Well, I had a red dress and shoes from the last one that I thought I could do like a little trade, but
well,
apparently I'll just steal it.
We'll treat this as D6 D6 cursed.
Okay.
Like D6 flesh? No, that's not. No. Okay.
I'm taking the register.
Okay. If you go through the register, you can go ahead and heal D4 supply stress, and so you find a couple lingering coins and such. If you want to roll a D4, you can recover.
Oh dang!
You treat it like
no
a
supply stress.
If Duvase has got it, or
yeah, I'll let someone else take it if they have supply stress.
Or you could quite literally just give them the coins. So if anyone's got lingering that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. I'll hold on to it. Just a D4 supply coin or something.
Just a handful of coins. And so does anybody actually have supply stress right now? Any points in...
Would that equate to a D4 supply resource?
No, not a reason. I mean, yeah.
I have
make it a
2
resource.
supply stress, but it's not very much. I don't want to use it up for that.
Say D4 bloody coins. And
okay.
There we go. Just put that in your resource. And we'll figure out something else with it later. Okay. So you've explored 2 to 3. You still have a little ways to go to the end of the delve.
What's the other store?
It was a restaurant. And when
Restaurant.
Kethras looked in it, there were like little silhouettes of people through the window.
I'm curious, do these silhouettes of people through the window appear to be animated? Are they moving?
They do not appear to be moving.
They didn't even Home Alone us right.
If you walk in, you're going to get hit with a paint can in the head. Look at
After the one shot, I want nothing to do with an eating establishment.
What? Oh, come on.
What?
It was a very literal eating establishment.
It was.
You went there to eat, and it also tried to eat you. I feel that's fair.
Yes.
it was just a little too literal.
If you get a little closer to the window and you peek in, you can tell that they don't appear to be fleshy. It actually, strangely enough, appears to be a bunch of like paper mache. Looks like a bunch of like paper-sized people in these weird angles. From what you can tell from out here, and again, it's kind of dark, so you can't get too much. But when you hold your lanterns up, that's what you see inside. There appears to be like a back room, probably a kitchen. A couple tables have been upturned, that kind of thing.
And I do want to make sure I've conveyed the butcher business
Sure.
before we go in here to the rest of the party. But do we want to look in here?
Is it
Yes.
still just you two?
Yes.
All of you are together.
We're all together.
Yes, we want to look. We want to look in
Yes,
there.
of course we're going in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to. Can we go back into the pawn shop real quick?
Sure.
I wanna be
No.
like, hey, anything we should worry about in this diner
Town?
over here? What's your opinion of this diner?
Good beans.
All right.
I'm sold.
All right.
Good beans.
So yeah, you go inside. You can see that probably has about 12 tables. Small, quaint place. There used to have been a bar. You look behind it. You can find nothing too great. You can find like an old D6 bottle of like red wine. Someone can grab. But as you're looking, there's about 8 different figures, all paper mache, kind of, or origami almost. It looks like they were made out of like maybe the menus. And then there's a door in the back to the kitchen.
I want to just kind of look real close at whatever the closest one to the door is.
It's hard to you don't really you can't really discern like ancestry or anything. It's just they're just basic figures of people. But again, it's like folded up.
If I like, tap on a little bit, does it seem hollow?
Yeah, it's
Are
very.
any
If
of
you
the-
tap it, it moves.
Flick it in the forehead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are any of
this
That's
is
the
been happening.
hollow.
menus
It's not pleasant.
particularly
Me
intact?
too.
I didn't catch all that, Joe. What was that?
Are any of the menus that they're made out of particularly intact?
You can-
that I'd be able to like.
Yeah, you can pluck one out. You take a look
Oh,
at it,
wow.
and there's just a list of mainly soups. Looks like this is some
I'll
sort of
start
soup place.
Browsing it.
Is there any
This
food
one
in
looks
front of
pretty
these?
good.
No, you can see that there's like silverware and plateware that had been set up, but you don't see any food on them, and glassware and that kind of stuff.
Excuse me, I'm ready to order. Yeah.
And
Yeah, is this,
and a butcher comes out with a little bow tie. Can I help you? No.
Oh no.
That'd be great.
That
so
would be
there's a
funny.
door to the kitchen.
Yeah, there's one door that goes back into the kitchen.
All right. I'm gonna walk back there holding my menu
Okay.
and
Expectantly.
knock on the door.
Okay.
See if I
So
get any response.
you knock on the door. It's like a swing door, so it kind of gives as you press on it, and you push it open a little bit, and you can see what you might expect to find in a kitchen. Several stations set up for chopping and cooking. There's most likely a coal burning stove, you would think, or a charcoal something like that. You
Does it
can
look recently used? I
Well,
guess?
as your eyes moving across and you see a lot of the things you'd expect to see, you see a rack of cans of food and dried goods and stuff. You see a body laying on the ground, their back leaning onto the shelf where all of like the goods are. And when you look, it's this it's a woman. You think maybe drow, not entirely sure. From this distance, she's incredibly well dressed, like something that might be regal and aristocratic in the city above. And she has about 12 or 13 knives stabbed into her in various places.
Oh no.
Do I see anyone else?
Nope. No, that's it.
I'm gonna,
It's her.
There's no real
has she
like,
been-
there's no real
cautiously-
place to hide or anything in here either. It's pretty
right.
open.
Let's say I'm ready to order.
And so there's no
Walk
reaction.
in.
Has she
Oh,
been
look around a little
skinned?
bit.
No, she seems to be
Just
okay.
murdered.
And I'm gonna pop back out and kind of alert the rest of everyone else. Like, I don't think we're gonna be getting any food here. Unless
That's
we make it ourselves.
There was food on the shelf.
Right, unless we make it ourselves.
Any of those beans the pawn shop guy was talking about in there?
Do they look like they died recently?
Hard to tell without
'Cause
getting
I
closer
have-
and doing a discern.
Right. I have an ability. I mean, if it works or not, it would be discerning, because I have a thing where it says if you touch the brow of a recently dead person, you can ask their spirit a single question.
Okay.
So I would just go up to do that, and if it doesn't work, then I'll know they've been dead for a while.
So as you reach out to touch it, you can see it suddenly lurches and moves, and it pulls a knife out of themselves and lurches forward and slashes at you. Roll a risky evade test.
Ooh. Risky evade.
Yeah, this will be, I forget the. I don't know.
The question will be, was I there to get beans at the same time or not?
We'll say you're behind him, but it's tight quarters. But you can be behind him. It's fine.
Evade.
Yeah,
Any
evade. Yeah, I was looking for my page number. It was totally wrong for where I put.
It's just one of those doorways where you just see all the heads lined up, like peeking around the corner to see what's going on.
I wanted beans. I mean, he said good beans,
Haven.
so I was going for him.
Damn. Fail.
Okay. So, as they lunge out, suddenly animate, blood gushing kind of out from the spot where they pulled the knife, and you can see their trailing blood behind them. They just carve right into the inside of your elbow and just carve and pull down towards the wrist. You're going to take... Check this. Okay. It's just a D6. So take...
And that's why I was going to see if you'll let me interject on that or not, if I'm close enough.
This attack, I would say no, because it's sort of like a special ability
Surprise.
they have. Yeah.
Mhm.
3 points of blood.
No worries.
Ouch. I marked all that.
And they look like they're pulling another knife out and getting ready to continue stabbing you.
No.
Did you mark stress? You said you did?
Yep, all three.
Equal to or lower?
I've got 6 total.
Okay, so this will be a minor because it's equal to or lower. You'll take, so this is blood. We'll say bleeding. This is ongoing. And at the end of the situation where you have this fallout, just mark D4 stress to blood. So this is the situation.
Okay.
So once combat and stuff is resolved, you can roll another D4 to take that damage as you are bleeding profusely from your arm.
Ouch.
What do you guys want to do?
I'll try and probably squeeze in between him, at least.
Okay, so you
I want to
step up.
lash out as soon as I can to attack them.
Okay, so we'll say Tarnished, since you said something first, go ahead and roll evade as you try to step in. Haven, to try to step forward as a second knife is kind of flailing around. And this is also risky.
Oh, well. I could
It's risky.
let me re-roll it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll it. It's fine.
Good luck.
Yeah, everything.
I need it.
Everything with this thing is going to be risky.
Yeah.
Run away!
So as you step up to try to sort of protect Kethras, the arm that was pulling out the second knife just swings around behind your shield and catches you in the thigh. Take 3 points of blood. By the way, this actually bypasses all protection.
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Let's get out of here.
Sorry.
The beans aren't that good. Let's go.
Yeah, not worth it.
Just beans.
And I just rolled. Okay, so Fallout
Oh,
check 2 or lower.
jeez.
So I'm assuming that's probably good.
Yeah.
We'll
mhm.
say limping, since I did describe it as stabbing you in the legs. We'll say limping. So you're slowed. If someone or something attacks your party, they'll attack you first. And if there's ever a question who arrives last, it's you. All checks involving rapid or stealthy movement become risky. This is ongoing.
Okay.
All right.
Let me see where I can. And it was limping.
Reset my blood since I took a fallout, right?
Yeah, you. It was a minor fallout. You got bleeding. So
Okay.
at the end of this, once we resolve this combat here, you'll roll D4 and you'll take that much blood. So you were going to do something. What do you want to do, Kethras?
I want to lash out with Grim Reaper.
Okay.
Which is a D8 kill where I send the Spectre to attack them.
Okay.
You said this is risky?
Yeah, all rolls against this will be risky.
There you go. Ooh. Fail.
Okay, so then as you lunge in to try to get your spectral self, it seems to ignore your spectral self entirely and knows exactly where you are, and it will lunge forward with yet another one of these stabs.
Are we sure we want to do this?
No.
And I need Tarnished to make an evade Haven test. 'Cause you're standing next to him.
So Jeff, this was sitting on the ground, leaning up against like a pantry.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still there, or has it actually arisen?
It's moved. It's like jerkily moving.
Yeah.
All right. So you can see it's continuing to just like pluck some of these knives, and there's even more knives in the back. And as it dodges out of the way of your spectral, it just throws knives at the two of you. One of them manages to clink off of Tarnished's shield, but the other one is going to catch Kethras like right across the cheek. You'll take 5 points of blood.
Let's get out of here.
Man, this
Yeah,
sounds
all of us, let's
running
go.
time.
Yeah,
It's
Mark,
running
all that.
time.
Let me do a fallout check.
Put us sign outside bad restaurant.
11 or lower.
1-star Yelp review.
Yeah.
I'm at 5.
Okay. So the two of you, I want you to, if you're running away, if that's the decision, I want you to make evade. You're gonna make evade tests. Tarnished, I'm gonna kick yours actually up to dangerous because you have limping and this thing's risky. So you're rolling at dangerous. Kethras, you're rolling at risky.
I was gonna try and see if I could attack it and make Joe's roll easier.
You can totally do that. No, that's fine. You can attack.
Like push it back with my shield and something
You're
like
like
that.
the bodyguard, and he's like Whitney Houston.
If you want to attack it, go for it. So
Okay.
kill Haven at risky just for the attack. It's only if you were trying to run quickly out of the room that I would pump it up.
Let me see what I got here. I might actually activate my Vermissian plate before I do so.
Hey, exciting.
I gotta see what resources I have to munch on here.
I think I gave
Chuck,
you an occult.
Redheads.
You have
Yeah.
a D6 occult just from that, for sure.
If there was ever a building to burn down, it's this one.
It's a D8 minimum. So would I be able to combine 2 D6s and call it a 4 leftover?
What do you've got?
Technology wires, technology catalog, technology snakes.
Okay, we'll say you can. Okay, we'll say you can combine 2 D6s and then have a D4 left. So, especially the snakes one, you can have like bits of pieces of a snake left. So, what do you want to? So, whatever you want to combine.
Okay. At the snakes is a D4, so I'll just call it a D6 technology wires and D4 technology snakes and call it done.
Done. Okay.
I'll wipe them out.
So you popped your power shield. Now.
I'm going to use it to gain access to Haven
Okay. Good deal.
so I can improve my dice rolls.
Go for it.
It's still risky.
Still risky, yeah.
No.
Charge forward, and this thing, within a surprising amount of depth, but in a sort of jerky way, just sort of dodges out of your charge attempt.
I'm actually gonna activate a skill.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to activate skill 2.
What do you want
So-
to do, Besa?
I have I have dire portents. So once per session, reroll any dice that you or anyone else rolled.
Okay.
So basically, the original roll was a vision, and then I can call out something. So we can
Okay.
give it a mulligan.
So go ahead and re-roll that, Dan.
I need it. Let's see. Oops.
This is where the crit fail comes in, and he just
Oh,
hits you.
please, please
Right.
no.
You take
Okay.
double stress.
It's still
Doesn't
bad.
change.
Oh, it's
Doesn't
the
change.
same.
Okay.
Oh
So-
man, because I had to drop the 8.
You're gonna slam into the shelves, and all sorts of different bits of of like beans and canisters are going to start falling on your
Beans
head.
I wanted are coming after me.
And as you try to readjust, you can feel just this rapid jabbing of knives into your side for 1 point of damage.
Okay.
7 on the fallout.
I am all right for now. Man,
Okay.
if I could just
I want to
just
try
apply
and
stress to it.
drag this person into the gray.
Okay. So what's the test when you're doing it against somebody that is not a Deadwalker? I haven't looked at it for a couple weeks.
It is. No, it's religion. I'm pretty sure. Let me find it. I think it's kill religion, but I need to make sure.
So you have to roll a kill religion test to bring them into the gray with you.
Bringing others. Instantaneous. Into the gray. Oh, it's delve religion. Okay, there we go. Which I have both of those. So it's delve plus religion.
Okay.
And I just get to take them with me.
Okay, so roll it at risky.
Okay. Fail.
You reach out to try to like touch this figure, and they quickly, again, deftly pull a knife much bigger than the others out of its chest, and then just stabs it right into your neck. 4 points of blood.
All right.
And
Can we just set this thing on fire?
fallout is
Yeah,
2?
yeah.
No
I'm
way.
going to start setting the building on fire.
So this thing,
Wait till they're out.
No,
Well,
no,
yeah.
we've warned them. We've said it's time to go.
That's
Now
true.
it's
We're
time
all
for
standing at the
fire.
front door.
I tried to make an opportunity.
so
Mm-mm.
as it's kind of going with one knife for the neck, it lands. You reach up your hand to try to swat away the second one. It just stabs you right through the palm with another knife. You're going to be battered. Your dominant hand is injured. Actually, wait. Do you already have minor fallout? Or
I
minor
do have a
blood?
minor fallout.
All right, we're going to kick it up then. Actually,
Does it
this
become a
is-
major?
Yeah.
Because then I get to
You get
use
to do
my
something.
ability,
Yeah.
so I prevent it.
Okay, so I won't go into what it was then, but you see as the knife falls, like plunges into your spectral, you see something kind of like this weird reaction from your spectral self that you've never seen before. It's just sort of, that's odd, as if there was something that specific attack was trying to do or contort, but just didn't seem to go through, like a glitch in the matrix, so to speak.
And then I get to inflict stress on them from that.
Okay, so how much?
A D8.
All right, roll it. Let me check if they got any
Ooh.
resistance.
Just stand there, keep taking hits, and just
Unfortunately,
fuck
that
this
is,
back.
6.
I think the last time he can do that.
Yeah. It's once per night.
6. Let me see if they have any resistances.
That's why I wanted to keep fighting to
Okay.
at least burn through that.
All right. And so you do manage to inflict a decent amount of resistance on them, but they still appear to be ready to keep going. What do you guys want to
Okay.
do?
Lighting the building on fire.
So you're lighting the building on fire, no problem. You're not being assaulted, and you're just
Oh,
torching
yeah.
people left and
Just-
right.
Torching
Oh.
the place.
I'll
Fair
once
enough.
again try to make an opportunity for him to flee
Okay.
without danger.
I want
Okay.
to try and drag it in one more time and then go in just by myself. if that
Why don't we
fails.
say, Dan, you're assisting Kethras this time. And
Okay.
so, Kethras, you can go ahead. You're trying to drag it in. So, roll the same test, get an extra, I will say an assist die as Dan's trying to distract it with his shield, or Tarnished is. Still at risky. Go for
Okay.
it.
Hey,
Okay.
success.
As you pull, Dan, as you watch, Tarnished, as you watch Kethras finally get hold of this incredibly elusive woman, pull her into the gray, poofs and disappears. You don't see, however, that on the other side, Kethras, you're just this knife just right up and under your rib cage, as you will be taking stress from this. 3 more points. Are you at 10 total?
Nope.
Okay, so you're good on Fallout still.
Mhm.
All right. And then you want to get out, right? So now you just want to leave her here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and you can do that instantaneously. You don't have to roll a check, right?
I don't believe I need to.
I think it's other people have to. I think you can just pop out.
I think I just get to. I have to make a check to go in, and it's more difficult to bring in people with me.
So I won't make you roll an evade test. So then you can just pop out. So you bring her in, pop back out, and and the creature seems to be dealt
They
with.
have food now,
and both of you are bleeding like crazy. Roll a d4.
Yep.
Kethras. And take that amount of blood, and then we'll do another fallout.
2. All right.
2 or lower.
Yep. I take a minor fallout.
And I will go ahead and bump to a major.
Okay.
So you're gonna have what's called vessel. As you pop back out, you realize there's still a knife in you. The bearer, so whatever you were just fighting, plunges one of the knives inside you. Your mind begins to swim from the pain. The adrenaline starting to wear off now that you're a little bit in better shape. So have all of your protections and round down, and you cannot remove the knife until you remove or downgrade the fallout. So the knife is stuck in you.
Oh.
Okay. So mechanically, all my protections are half.
Or half round down.
Round down.
And you all can
So
take...
I have...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't affect me too much because I barely have any protection.
Oops.
That works.
I lost 1 supply protection from that.
You all can take 2 d6s worth of just dried goods, dried foods and beans.
Okay.
Haven, tag, and stride, so I won't even get
just-
to your rating.
Both split it, I suppose.
Okay.
We each get 1d6.
And as you
beans.
turn around, you notice that the place is on fire.
Yeah.
And people have been shouting for you to run, and you all finally leave the building. And
Slowly.
once again, watch yet another building burn down with a woman possibly inside of it. Okay. Do you get back on the road? We head back to the delve?
Do I
Is
have a way
Removing
to...
fallout, is that something that I have to do in a haunt?
Damn.
So that's definitely the easiest way because it means you're exchanging what's it called? You're exchanging resources just to
Right.
drop it. So you can spend a D6 resource or a D8 resource to remove a minor, or a D8 resource to remove a major at a haunt. Double checking really quick. Or you can use a bond. But unless somebody has a specific class ability, there's no other way to do it. So, yeah.
Okay.
I will begin the sauntering.
Okay. All right.
Does the bond have to do it at a haunt?
It's wherever your bond is. So if Professor Behekman is still with you, yes, he was hanging out with your mechanical bull, which is, I think, still following you guys.
Do we still have
I'm
that
assuming like Burnthos has been on top of it. Otherwise, Morthos would be rolling like 1,000 Endura checks just to carry himself the whole way.
Yeah.
I want to see that mechanical bull climbing down the vine wall, though.
All right, so you're going to unload. So you're going to try to unload this onto the bond. So this is a D8. So roll a D8, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be to the bond.
Oh no.
Okay, and then they have to roll Fallout for that.
Oh, no.
Wow.
And they're okay, actually.
Professor Behekman lives for another day.
He's a little stressed out because you're just like, he stabbed me, and he's like, okay, calm down.
Do you see this knife now?
It's probably a little traumatizing as they remove it from me.
All right, so after that, you get back on the road, so to speak. And
I do my little Healy spitty thing for the bleeding on your arm, Kethras.
Okay.
Awesome.
I will roll a Bane for this. Increases resistance.
So I got to reduce. So I don't have the fallout anymore for that, and then all of my stress is reset, right?
So you downgrade it. So since you downgraded it to, so you downgraded the Fallout itself, correct?
Okay. Oh, does that make
I'm
it?
sorry, you
no,
removed it.
minor?
It's a major. It's critical that gets downgraded. Major can go away. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so then all other stress is gone.
Yeah.
It
So
should have
then
been
there's
when
no
he
need for me
when
to.
he-
So then there's no need for me to do
Because when I
that.
took
when he took the
yeah.
major, he should have cleared all his stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then never mind. I don't mend. Instead
All right,
It's
I'll
right at
mend
the end.
I will not
Yep.
add that to the. Okay, so you get back on the road, and you.
I mend my stress by taking damage.
You travel for a little bit and you come to this suddenly the kind of the rocky viney nature begins to dissipate, and you can see little bits of metal and tunnels starting to appear between the rocks, and you have this fairly refined and almost reflective hallway that you are suddenly find yourselves in. And as you're walking, the panels to the right and to the left begin to light up, and you can see copies of yourselves suddenly pop up and just look at you. And you're in this tunnel, almost like a funhouse mirror. And as you're stepping forward, you suddenly boom, bang your head into the wall, like surprised that there was a wall there. And then you turn left again, boom, you bank it again. And you just you see like 100 versions of yourselves reflecting in all different directions. And every time you take a step in one direction, you take a few feet, and then you're bumping into something else. Morthos, you turn and you say something to Zerk, and it's like, that's not Zerk, that's a reflection of Zerk or some other copy of Zerk.
Yeah. How's Bernthos looking in all this?
Bernthos, he is on top. I like to think he's on top of the bull, and you've got him roped, and he's just moving around like some sort of like Viking overlord, boom, the whole way through.
There we go.
But the same thing. It's the same thing with him. Copies of everybody, Bahikman as well. So everyone,
Yeah.
and your NPC is panicking a bit. So
I want to
I
try
forgot
and
all about the
drop my
professor.
spectacles
I always
to see
do.
if they are.
you put the
Does
spectacles
it seem to
on.
be illusionary, or is it like a actual?
Seems to be technological.
Okay.
There's something going on here, as if technology is kind of run amok in some way.
Javesa doesn't do technology, so
I
somebody-
do, but I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I'm
think of
gonna-
what I could do to
I'm
help
going to
with
call
this.
out and say, let's everyone group together and like grab hold of each other and
Okay.
try and move together as a unit, or at least in a chain.
I would want someone to roll a delve tech, and then you can get an assist die if everyone follows Kethras's plan to come together.
What about my fancy new radar fork? Can that help us get through here?
It absolutely can. In fact, you can go if you decide to do it. Delve, tech, and I'll give you assist die and mastery in this particular case with this item.
Oh, nice.
So do you have tech?
I don't have tech. I have delve.
So
I
we're
have
looking at
tech
4.
if you want help.
You know what? Go ahead and take it. 5. Take 5 as
Ooh,
tarnished.
standard.
Yeah, standard. Yep, we're back to standard. It's one of the coolest NPC things in the book, by the way.
Nice.
You guys just
Woo! Radar fork.
That didn't even
do
need
your
the
thing.
exercise.
which is what's the delve die on that? Did I tell you?
It's D6.
So kick it up to a D8 and roll a D8.
Nice.
Just
Boy, we've been
not
rolling
nice.
remarkably low on the delve
2s and
checks.
3s all night for the delve.
2. Hang on
Damn.
here. So that's
It
But
does
that's
not
fine.
want
But we
to.
get to run
3.
into more fun stuff.
That's actually just
Mhm.
enough because it was a resistance of 10. And that it was 2 3s and 2 2s, and that put you right at 10. You all find a path through. You a couple more bumps along the way, crack panel here or there. Weird looks at your faces as every now and then one of them just has this kind of uncanny valley look to it,
Oh no.
and
That's
then
creepy.
and then they go away. Some of them like reach out and you can see their fingerprints like press them as if they're like pressing against a window, like there's something behind it. But eventually,
Javesa is totally reaching out and touching the hand.
hey, what was? Don't forget that you got that vague thing. Remember to call me on that, so that you have something. That thing with the cloudy vision, right? Or did you already use that?
No, I haven't used that yet.
No, don't forget to call me on that. You manage to get through a tunnel, and then it almost is like you're coming up out of a subway station. There's this wide and tapering set of stairs. You see handrails. All of it looks to be in decent shape. Mage light still running, and you pop up, and you can see that you are and have arrived at Wells Station. You look around, and you can see that this is a decent. It's in much better shape than where you just came from. and there's all sorts of buildings and a fairly nice, refined roadway that you can follow. Several of the buildings near left and right seem to have entrances. You can see maybe, you're not sure if they're apartment complexes or maybe just some kind of commercial buildings. Not entirely sure. You can see there's flowers that are set up along the side. And as you continue to walk, you turn a corner. You can see that there's this pub. It says Etoiles. And this beautiful mage light running vertically down, like Etoile. You can hear almost like the echo of a train car, but that doesn't make sense. There wouldn't be one. You keep walking, hanging left, trying to find a way out, and you realize, you look up and you see like the exact same pattern of window up on the building, the same handful of lights on, same handful of lights off. You look down, you see cracks in the ground that look exactly like the cracks in the ground that you just saw 20, 30 feet ago. Make a right, and you see another Etoiles on the corner of the street.
Oh no, we're caught in a loop.
You go 20 more feet, completely different direction, the exact same thing happens. Exact same pattern of cracks, exact same patterns of lights in the windows, exact same bar.
What's behind us now?
You turn around and go back the other way, and you find the same cracks, the same patterned windows, the same patterned floors, and you do this probably about a half an hour, and you pick different patterns, different ways to go in every single direction.
About how long does it take to loop around? Does it seem?
It doesn't even seem like a loop. It quite literally seems that every direction that you try to go, you're not even sure if it's a loop or if this is just a large area that has the exact same patterns of buildings over and over. You would probably guess that there's like 30 different Etoiles that you just walked around.
Yeah,
we go in
I
one of them.
want to try and mark something,
Mhm.
and then see if it loops back on ourselves.
You start marking, so you mark one, and then you kind of walk off in a distance. When you go to the next one, you don't see your mark, and so it kind of confirms that suspicion. And you start walking backwards, and then you find the mark again. So this is definitely not like you just repeating the same place. It looks like this is a small city landmark that has built its architecture in such a way that all of these street corners and areas look exactly the same.
Tessellates.
Somebody's quite evil who designed this.
But they just really want us to go get a drink.
We should do that.
Let's do it.
You go inside of Etoiles. You can see that there is a bar lined up. No one there behind it. Perfect run of liquor behind some kind of locked cabinet. And you can see at the bar, with a bottle already taken out and looks to be empty, you can see a gnoll in all sorts of reflective armor with their head down on the counter holding it, and they're just
on the customer side or on the
customer side. Customer side.
Take the bottle.
Go-
Don't wake him up.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I'll go take the bottle.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a sneak, Haven.
Okay.
Can I assist him in any way? Like try to like coach him? Like, oh, do it this way. Don't do that way. No, don't touch there. Don't.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. He's my. I'll
an
assist
extra-
you with sneak.
Take an
I'll
extra
coach
D10.
you on.
Okay. Well, we're both good at sneaky, so here it goes.
Perfect.
Woo!
There we go.
You got it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very gingerly, as if you have stolen stuff before. You, especially bottles of liquor, you're able to
Yeah.
pull it out of his kind of limp grasp, and you know he's just sleeping.
Let's drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a swig and hand it over.
All right, Zerk's gonna take a big swig too, and then pass it down the line.
You start drinking. It's not bad. It's a little flat, whatever it is, with some kind of champagne bubbly, but it's gone flat. But it tastes good, and after the ordeal you've been through, it's probably refreshing.
I want to finish it off and then put it back in his hand.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a sneak.
All right.
So you try to place it. Okay. You managed to Is that you? Yeah, that's you, right?
I haven't yet.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Chuck's. My bad.
Yep.
No, my God.
Oh,
Exact same.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
Okay. So you managed to place it back, no problem. And he is none the wiser.
Awesome.
should we wake him up now?
Yeah. Now we'll wake him up.
Okay.
Hey, buddy. Hey.
And he's got these big red goggles on that he kind of wipes off because they're like foggy, and he pulls them up. He blinks a bit as if he doesn't believe what he's seeing. People. You're people. Oh.
Yep, we're people.
Ah,
As are you. Helping?
Are there no other people here?
Okay. My team. Somewhere here. We lost each other. Can't find them. We've been here for, I don't know how long.
This is
no bells.
easy solution here. We got
Burn it all
Don't
down.
you worry. We're not going to burn it all down. We're going to build one thing down, and then that way there's a plume of smoke everyone can, convene onto.
Okay. I don't know why we didn't think of that.
Right? Fire's always the solution.
We were trying to find the wellness center and couldn't find it. But this'll work. This'll work. Yes. Set it on fire. Should we leave first?
Yeah, let's not be
Yes.
in here when we set it on
You
fire.
see him. 1 second. And he reaches over and grabs another bottle.
Wait, there's
let's all
drink
grab
more
a
than I
bottle.
thought.
yeah.
yeah, we should all help ourselves.
All of you take like a D4 of like cheap bubbly.
Oh, you got it.
I'm gonna
All the good
call it
stuff
that
is like
exactly.
it's like hidden away. You step out, light the thing on fire, and he looks around, and you could tell he's a little sketchy. Like he's been here for a while, and is
I mean,
like,
you'd probably be sketchy if you're here for a long time too.
it's just round and round, same play, whatever, round and round, round and round. So if anybody
Yes.
wants, you can try to roll a discern check, discern
Can
haven.
do my aura check.
Okay. So you want to try to like figure out a path or something?
My aura is just his base emotion.
Confusion.
Okay.
A little bit of insanity.
He is as he
Gotcha.
appears.
Yeah.
I am
Oh yeah, he
fascinated by
he doesn't seem sketchy
Right.
in that regard.
I'm fascinated by his armor, so I'll strike up a
We
conversation.
could have slit his throat and you could have had his armor.
True.
Are you saying this out loud? Because I would probably react to this.
No.
Sometimes I just want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
say it all out loud.
Yeah.
What kind of discern check?
Discern haven.
All right. I have discern.
I have Haven. so.
I have Haven as
Anything
well.
else I would. Yeah. I will also take tech. Discern tech.
Oh,
you have
I have tech also.
You have discern and tech?
No, I just have Haven and tech.
I have discern in Haven.
I'm willing to
for it.
strike up the conversation. So
Okay.
unless
This
you want
is
to do it.
just investigating what his armor is.
This is more trying to figure your way out. Is what I was calling.
Oh, okay.
Discern Haven,
Yeah.
you said? Perfect.
Okay.
9.
So using the beacon of the fire and the smoke as a way to make sure you're not just like going in circles, you kind of make a direction kind of opposite that you think you arrived. And after about 30 minutes, you do in fact finally see a different piece of architecture. And there's this larger building, a little blocky, and it says there's a mage light sign outside that says Wellness Center.
We should probably start another fire near here so we can.
That wasn't so
guide
hard.
other
I will say that
people.
out loud.
From fire
Yeah.
A to fire B.
Yeah, I'll start another fire.
So
Don't
when,
have to ask me twice.
when you started to say, wait. Don't,
Yeah.
not the center. We were sent here.
No.
to-
Another one of the,
Okay.
the
Just a
bars.
dumpster.
Okay, so you make
Yeah.
2 lines.
Dumpster fire.
It's perfect. Okay, and so
Dumpster fire.
he starts going into the center itself. He starts kind of wanting to go inside. So he opens up. And there's like a glass doors, and he starts going inside. Automated mage lights start flickering on.
I want to ask him why are you trying to get here? Like, what's in the center?
He was sent to record what we found. Technology, and he's basically a Gnoll. Like he's part of a Gnoll incursion team, and they just sent to record various things that they learn in the heart. Like they're sent here, and they just kind of got stuck. And you've probably seen them before in your travels around the Delve. Most people leave them alone. Sometimes, if someone is particularly desperate for money, or if they're just don't mind getting in the rough and tumble, sometimes you can take their heads, deliver them to various folks in Derelictus for some coin if you really wanted. It's kind of a shady, it's relatively shady, but you're welcome to do it. You could probably easily do it with him. But he goes inside and he starts calling out names of his team members, and you never hear anything back. You can see there's like this. It's like you're in a spa, basically, is where you're at. There's all these kiosks that you can kind of go up to and go through, and it tells you the different places you can go in the area, like different wings, surgical wings, like relaxation wings, stuff like that.
Interesting. Would this be considered a haunt, or?
Yes, in fact.
Heal some blood.
It is you can do mind or blood in here, and there's various places that you can go. If you go to the mind area, you'll have this kind of automated voice start walking you through various meditative practices. And if you go to the blood section, you'll have like this beautiful chair that'll just sort of magically start stitching you up.
I'll go to the blood section, yeah.
Okay.
I need to get rid of that.
It's a
that
D8.
minor blood fallout.
You can go up to D8. If you're looking to heal stress, if you're looking to remove fallout.
How much does it cost to remove a minor fallout?
Minor is a D6.
D6.
Yep.
I'm going to eat those good beans to get rid of my limp.
Okay.
It's a fair trade at this point.
I'm going to also eat my D6 to do a get rid of one of the mind fallouts I have, because I don't want that turning into a major.
Okay.
Even though it didn't affect me.
Morthos, you also might catch your eye that there is a wing for experimental wellness surgeries.
Ooh,
Oh my.
I'm about that. Let's go check it out.
So
Sounds fun and dangerous.
Is this place like staffed?
it seems like there should be staff here, but there's a lot of automation. As if this is sort of a kind of an abandoned area. But as the further you go in, suddenly people start popping up, like coming out of doors, like, "Can we help you? Welcome to the wellness center. Welcome to the wellness center." And they seem very perfect, like in a very like overly concerned with helping you. But like you can kind of get past and just do like little quick things. But the further you go in, you start popping into like specialists who pop out. But you meet a woman, this drow woman, when you go into the experimental wellness surgeries, and she sees you when you walk in. She seems to be like researching away. She's got this like helmet on with like a reflective circular thing on her headband.
A customer.
Yes.
What can I help? What can I help you with?
What kind of cool stuff can I get over here?
Well, what kind of cool stuff do you need? We have touch-ups. We could get rid of those crow's feet for you. We could do that.
I need those to keep me separate from Burnthos.
Yes. Ben. Never mind. Do you feel particularly ill in a particular way?
Yeah, my memory's all messed up. I'm missing holes. What can you do for that?
We have an experimental procedure that we put, we can crack open your cranium, and we can go ahead and put these wonderful little diodes all around your brains. We call them brainsers, because it's like braces and brains together, like brain.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was a dentist once, many years ago. But we could do that if you want. It's very good for the memory, for amnesia, for folks who have trouble discerning one thing from the next.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I have performed this procedure a dozen times.
Listen, I was prepared to say yes for any number above 4.
4 successfully.
Magic number.
You would be 5.
All right, well, let's make
Successfully.
it 5.
When were the what's the streak on that? Were the last 4 successful?
I'm on a two success streak. First one,
all right.
successful. Dumb luck, who knew? Then terrible losses for a while, left and right, and then back we came again with another success, and then a couple more. And then finally 2 in a row at the end. I feel like I've turned a corner.
He's on a streak. You get him. Yeah.
We got
Get
to
him
keep
while,
it.
get him while he's hot.
We'll make
Yeah.
it 3. You call it a hat trick.
Yes,
Let's do this.
let's call it a hat trick. I'm wearing a wonderful hat. Yes. All I need you to do is lay down. No, not there. In an actual chair, not on the ground. You're a strange man.
Oh, okay.
Lay in
Yeah.
the chair. The rest of you can't be in here. You're very dirty. Go away.
Yes.
Go away. I'll take very good care of him. Very good care.
So I would like you to roll an Endure technology test at Risky.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh. Risky.
At Risky.
I definitely
Just cracking
want,
his skull open.
Oh, it's not
I
bad.
definitely want to enter the gray and attempt to watch this from within the
Sure,
gray.
no problem. You can do that. Okay. And so you see, she just starts. She got these giant needles. She just injects into his side, and then you kind of doze off at that point, Morthos. Kethras, you watch as she just starts pulling out all sorts of these different knives and markers and like shaving his head, drawing little dotted lines.
Can I like assist his endure check by like making sure things are laid out correctly from?
He already rolled it. Otherwise, I might have been able to get talked into that.
Okay.
But you watch, she just cuts right into his head, blood squirting everywhere, like in her face, and she's like, "Oh,
Raspberry. No, blood, sorry. Confused.
and she's talking to herself the whole time, and then she's like,
Scalpel. Thank you.
and,
Suction.
and then she picks the top of his skull off and looks at it,
That's interesting.
and she starts pulling like little things out of it, like,
Oh, that's not supposed to be here. That's not supposed to be here. No, that's wrong. Oh, goodness.
and so like Kethras, when you're looking, like there's all these weird like growths on the inside of his skull, and honestly, it actually some of it looks really peculiar in a way. And when you see the brain, there's all sorts of there quite literally is a hole where the brain like there's like a big chunk right towards the front.
Oh, dear. Well, he wanted to fill
Well, there's your
this.
problem.
That's definitely the problem. What can I do to fill this?
And so she like
on
reaches
Jim's
into her
socket.
pocket. And she's like,
Kleenex. Or not Kleenex. What's it called?
this thing's called not the Kleenex, but
Handkerchief.
Handkerchief. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. One last clear. Just jam that in there really quickly.
and then she brings over this device, it's like basically a really tiny headband, and it's got these little blinking lights, and she sets it right on top of his brain, and she starts drilling into the brain very gently, and it starts to squeeze, and you can see the brain just boom, like bulbous a bit.
Oh, wonderful.
And she goes ahead and puts the top of the skull back on. She gets like a staple gun, click, 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 click. And you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna take
As
as
we
you-
see the procedure ending, I'm gonna walk back out.
okay.
Or yeah, you can finish.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Gives me time to think.
I'm gonna. As I see the procedure ending, I'm gonna walk back out into the lobby where I assume everyone else is waiting, and come back out of the gray. I'm like, I think he just agreed to euthanize himself. I don't
Well-
think it's going very well.
We'll have 2 dead Morthos to carry with us then.
So Morthos, when you eventually do wake up, you have, suffice to say, your head hurts really, really bad.
Yeah.
However,
Hopefully he put it on straight at least,
take 6 points of mind.
All right.
Okay, so we'll start there. 8 or lower. Where are you at in
No.
terms of total stress? You're good? Okay.
11.
Oh,
No, I got
okay.
11. Like, no, I'm not good.
Oh, God, that's still good at all. So you're going to take... Do you have any minor fallouts or anything like that yet?
No, I just used when I stopped at the healing one, I used that D8 to heal my minor. So,
Okay. Let's say, I mean, you already have... okay. I mean, I kind of want to do. Oh, let's see. This is Major Mind, huh? We'll do. Oh man, I don't want to do it. You're already an addict because you're a junk mage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can't
Okay.
make that worse.
All right, so we'll say Phantasm.
Okay.
You lose track of what's real and what's not. The GM picks a
Oh.
major fallout from a different resistance, and I tell you that you have it. And until this fallout is removed, you're convinced that you've suffered from that fallout, no matter what anybody else tells you, and you suffer from all the appropriate effects. And it's up to me to inform you whether or not this is a delusion or not. So let's do Dark Cravings from Major Echo Fallout. So you crave unusual, taboo things rather than good, honest meat and drink. So like rusted metal, living creatures, vermin, effluvia, used clothing, beloved pets, etc. Next time you visit a haunt and attempt to refresh blood or mind stress, you must seek out the weirdness and indulge in it. Otherwise, you will be unable to refresh. So that's the one that's going to cover. Okay, so Phantasm, but then Dark Cravings from Major Echo Fallout.
I like that. That's great.
Man.
All right. Now, she's like hovering over you, really, really close to your face.
How do you feel?
God, I'm hungry.
Oh, well, sandwiches in the vending machine by the front door. But do you remember anything?
And you do, in fact, remember something.
Oh,
You have a very clear memory of sitting in a room, and you're in the middle of two other people. Every time you turn your head to try to look at them, it just doesn't. You cannot make out exactly who they are. But there's someone to your right, and there's someone to your left. When you look down at the armrests, you see like a wrinkled hand on your right, and you see kind of a. Actually, I'll just give it to you. It looks like Bernthos' hand. It's younger.
yeah.
Doesn't have as much hair on it. You look to the right, it's gnarled and wrinkled. You look up finally as like the memory begins to settle, and you look over to your left and you can see Bernthos sitting on your left. And he's looking at you and he's confused. And then you're kind of feeling the sensation of confusion. And then you look over to your right and you see this old gnarly looking face. Big old bushy eyebrows and a big bushy beard. You can barely even see his face. And you realize, like you can sense a sense of familiarity. It's you.
Yeah.
But you've also seen this before. This very person was on a cliff face in Gasling Plain. This very face was on some of the drawings and paintings that Duvesa
shit.
has shared with people. It's you,
I'm that person.
but very old. And right as
Does
you're
he
like,
have a big scar all the way around his head?
he does have a very faint scar now that you're looking at it. And while you're focusing on him, you hear a tick, 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 and you look down and you see this big stained glass door begin to open, and you just get washed with light. And then you wake up and you're like, what the hell just happened? But that is the memory that you regain.
Wow.
Oh,
Boy, that was a loaded boogie he put in that handkerchief.
it
Okay.
worked.
Off with you. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Okay.
I'll be out in the lobby trying to discuss which of his things will split and all sorts of like
Listen.
offhanded testaments and things.
I'm here and I know things. Crazy things.
And when you
It's
look at
so good to
Bernthos,
see you as we like put your stuff
Probably
back in your bag.
Yeah.
when you look at Bernthos, by the way, who's on top of the automaton, just looks at their head, just something moves on their own accord, just smiles at you. Just like that person sitting next to you did in your little, and then plops back down.
Bernthos is the best.
So I wonder if
real
I could
hero.
indulge you all for like maybe 10 more minutes so we can get through to the next station. Would that be okay with everybody?
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Does anybody, if you're, it's okay if it's like maybe 10 and we could just do, so we can get to Grip Station, which will allow Chuck to finish his second thing. and Kethras as well. So,
Onward.
so do you want? So the Gnoll, you lose track of the Gnoll, who seems to be wandering around the station itself. But as you come out of the wellness station, you look off to your left, and you can see another one of those stairs going down into a different subway tunnel. You realize that's probably the next tunnel path to Grip Station. When you kind of go down the stairs, everything's kind of fine for a bit, but you come across a kind of this long corridor of all sorts of leftover machinery of old picked apart train cars, and you can see that before the actual the well station is done, there's like this abandoned business plaza that doesn't appear to be in use. But you also see these rats of reddish, no fur kind moving about on the ground, and all of a sudden you see one of them just sort of chasing each other. You hear as this explosion happens, and then another one comes running away, and then and that one explodes too.
Oh no.
And you see like there's a little danger sign carved into some piece of metal and adhered to one of the reinforcement pillars. You realize this might be mined. As the rats continue to move, you occasionally hear off in the distance, echoing down the way. And this is the way you're going. This is like the tunnel. The tunnel is mined as you're passing by this business plaza.
I don't have any mind resistance, so gotta be careful.
Mind as an MINED or mind as an MIND?
Hunt wild risky if you want to try to grab a rat.
Okay, yeah.
You got this.
Can I assist him?
Not anymore.
No.
So as you gotta go chase, like, here, kitty, kitty. You gotta go chasing after the rat. So this is take double stress. So it's a D6 times 2. Take 8 points as you see him step forward just too far, and all of a sudden, click, and when he is blown up by a mine, you're gonna take 8 points of blood stress.
Real quick, did that when I took the dark cravings that reset all my stress, right?
Yeah, because you took it was major fallout.
Okay,
So, yeah.
okay, good.
Mhm.
Thank goodness.
So you take 8
Thank
points.
goodness.
So you have 8 points of blood, and you'll take it's just minor. It's just minor. So we'll say you're blown sky high, and when you fall, you have a ringing head.
Okay.
As the concussion blast. So this is immediate. Your head swims, tastes in your mouth. The next action you take is going to be dangerous. The one after that will be risky, and then finally it'll be back to normal.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So somebody's got to navigate through the minefield. This is going to be Delve Tech to get through here.
I'll put my shield up front and stick my sword out in front. Start trying to tap my way through it.
Okay. So go for it. Delve Tech. This is a regular check for you.
Yep.
I am okay. You got this.
I have Delve and Tech.
You do manage every now and then. So as you guys are just following behind Tarnished-Steel, every now and then you hear tick, 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 and he just holds the shield up, and the mine goes off, and just harmlessly the shrapnel goes right off the shield, this big Vermissian plate shield. Do you have any Delve items on you?
I do.
Okay, D6. All right, very
There we
nice.
go.
Good
Not
roll.
bad.
Good
Not
start.
bad.
Okay, we'll get through this. We got this. And then, okay, as you continue going, you come to an intersection of tunnels. As the tunnel that you bypass the kind of the mine area, and you see this other intersection where there's crumbling stone and metallic tunnels of the Vermissian on kind of all different ways, but the intersection itself, the tunnel that kind of is perpendicular running across yours, is actually a fairly clean glass tube that runs left to right. And as you wait there periodically, because it blocks the whole way forward, periodically you'll see a car come through the glass tube, stop, momentarily, and inside there are all these families of fairly well-dressed people with like these different discolorating skin from like red to purple. They have these really one giant eye that like they're staring horrifically at you all as they're looking out this glass, and they're like grabbing their children and cleaning them away. And it's every like 5 to 10 minutes you see one of these tubes show up, and the same thing. It's just a handful of like commuters of some unknown species. When you peer off to the right, you can see that that glass tube is continuing to kind of extend outward, and then they just pop out the end like a pill and like disappear into the darkness far off to your right. From the left, it seems like the tube itself curves vertically upward and into darkness. You can't see where it comes from. But whenever the little carts are gone, you can see through the glass to the other side of the intersection. But this glass tube is in
so
the
we
way.
can pass through it
You
at that place, or
Yeah, if you wanted to, but there's glass in the way. So like I said, it's like a tube has intersected your tunnel and is blocking
no
the way.
doorways or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
Listen, I say, yelling over the ring in my ears. I got this one. As I pull out my new
I hold up
revolver
my shield pointed towards him.
and I blast the glass tube between us and our target.
We'll go kill tech. I'll take a kill for this one.
Dangerous.
Does anybody want to
this
help
is
him with
dangerous.
anything first?
I'll help him by putting my shield behind him.
Okay.
And everybody needs to stand behind me.
All right. More
That's not helping me. That's helping you. So
Well, I'm stabilizing you.
All right. So as you shoot at the glass, the shot bounces off the glass and comes right back in your face. It seems to be bulletproof. So you'll go ahead and take 3 points of mind stress as the ringing just gets like a second. There's like a second ringing. So now it's a cacophony of rings in your head as your concussion has a second concussion.
okay.
And you still have this glass tube in front of you.
There's an opening off to the side.
No, it's like you're in a tunnel, and your tunnel has like, it's got normal walls that you'd expect, but then you got this intersection of this glass, almost like a hamster tube, right? Like going through and blocking the way forward. When you lean up close to the glass and you look off to the right, you can see that tube runs a really far distance, and eventually like the pods that are moving through this glass tube just pop out for reasons and disappear into the darkness to the right. But you can't get to it. That's like way beyond the wall. Literally, it's just a glass tube in your way. You have to figure out a way through it.
If I like knock on it or tap on it pretty hard, it's not like there's any unnatural reflective capabilities. It
just seems
sturdy.
like pretty sturdy glass. That's all, or plastics or something like that.
Is the tunnel diggable? Like we could dig under this?
Sure, that would take some time, but you could. Yeah,
Is
We
it
go over.
what kind of
possibly go
is
over?
it like dirt?
It's not so much dirt. There's like tracks themselves, but then underneath it there's flattened, kind of flattened ground of some kind.
Okay. So I have dirt under the fingernails. You can dig through earth and mud with your bare hands as though you had a shovel.
Ooh.
Roll a delve. We'll do, since it's a tunnel thing, we can make it Warren, delve Warren. You can have a mastery die.
And that's the skill I get alongside of that. So
Perfect.
That works.
Delve Warren mastery, and you can take an assist die if Duvesa gives you a hand digging.
What does mastery mean?
Just an extra die.
Okay.
So basically, you're 1 for normal, 1 for skill, 1 for domain, 1 for assist, 1 for mastery. Puts you at 5.
I don't have any of those skills.
No, you don't? Then you're at 4.
Okay.
Crit success.
success.
Ooh.
Do you have any
Nailed it.
delve? Do you have any delve items equipment?
I do not.
Okay, to roll a
Wait, actually, you had
d6.
2 10s. My goodness.
Okay.
That is just enough.
Nice.
There we go.
You guys got this in 2
Sweet.
steps. It was a resistance 10, 5 and 5.
Sweet.
So you dive under, and you dig and you dig, and eventually you can continue to travel in a fairly simple way. There's a couple bridges you go over, but most of them are attacked. The worst part is at one point, like you kind of had to like rappel and move, but you're all smart enough to kind of hang on and just sort of somebody like anchor the rope and swing over like a gap. It's not too difficult. But at a certain point, you start to notice that there are these like crystals hanging. You start to see glittering well above on the ceiling, and this is definitely the first sign that you have made it to Grip Station. Grip Station, Tarnished, you would know, is most well known for when it was built. Everyone thought it was going to be really nice to see these wonderful crystals, but like the vibration and sounds of the traveling of the train actually causes these crystals, which are hundreds of feet up and are large and incredibly sharp, to fall. And so then everyone just started traveling really, really slowly. And it's like a terrifying, slow meander through darkness. And this ended up being a horrifying trip for people. But you all have arrived at Grip Station. So this is another haven. There are a couple of haunts. If you go and talk to a few different people, you can kind of explore some of the crystalline caves for mind and fortune. There are a bunch of Vermissian sages who immediately flock around Tarnished Steel like he's a rock star, and they're his groupies, asking about your dells and what stable connections have you made, and all sorts of things. And they're like looking over your shield to see if you've recorded anything, all that kind of stuff. Kethras, if you go hunting, and because Grip Station was the way you were supposed to go, if you
smash the egg.
Yeah, if you speak with one of these, they give you instructions to go into one of the abandoned side tracks, and you could perhaps use something to create a series of vibrations and try to trigger one of the crystals to fall down and pierce through the egg itself.
Absolutely.
I could help with that.
Okay.
That sounds exciting and dangerous.
So if you're getting help, we'll go ahead and roll. You can do a. Where the hell did my stuff go? There it is. So really quickly, you can go ahead and do. I'm just going to say discern, and then you can do either technology or haven, since we're technically in a haven.
I have none of those.
You get an assist die from Morthos, who's helping you. Assist die from Tarnished, who's helping you. Mm-hmm. Is anybody else giving a hand?
I can help with discern.
Okay. So
my help too is just taking a pot shot at one of those crystals.
Okay.
I could do discern.
Okay. So roll 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the 1. So you roll 5. Roll it at risky, however.
Oh.
This is dangerous. You're trying to take a crystal down from 100 feet above that is basically like a sword following.
Yeah.
Falling down.
Get murdered by it.
Nice.
And so as this, as you are all kind of like, Morthos is just firing up at the ceiling. You're not sure if any of that's actually helping. Some of you are like pointing out to Kethras like various places, maybe tarnished along the track, that you would know to best hit for the vibration or the echo. Same with Zerk, kind of pointing out different locations on the wall that you can kind of try to hammer. And so everyone's kind of taking a place to create these vibrations. And eventually this long, probably 20-foot long sheer blade, almost like a blade, falls 150 feet. And you all had mathed out with your discern checks to try the perfect placement underneath it. And this thing falls and slices right kind of down the side of it. And you can see a splurt of some kind of liquid immediately shoot out. It doesn't crack open, but you see it's torn. And then when you come over, Kethras, and you kind of peel it back, you can see some kind of reptilian embryo just flops out onto the ground in front of you.
Kill with fire.
And it doesn't seem to be fully formed and functional. You're not sure if you recognize it. If it recognizes you, you can see the formulation of scales that aren't fully formed. Like you can see some rows are there, eyes black.
Zerk.
Could this
Go
be
carve me off a chunk of that.
a resource of some
All right.
kind?
not so much. I mean, we can make it a resource if you want. Take a D10 if you want it to be a resource. It's going to be a D10, and it's like unwieldy. I can't remember the name of it. I'm not sure if unwieldy is the right word, but it's
Unwieldy dragon corpse. No,
it's awkward. Sorry, heavy or hard to carry. So it's the same thing. Same thing you had before. Also, this is going to be a few other things. It's going to be, what's it called? Beacon, which is attracts danger towards its position. And also, no, that's fine. Just those two. Okay.
I'm going to carve off a hunk of it for Morthos and I'm going to eat my hunk.
Okay.
Me too.
If you want to eat pieces of this thing, you can. I mean, it's not going to help you too much. We're at the end of the session, so you're not going to get the skill too much. But you can
Yeah,
get.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you would be able to get wild from this because it is an animal. But I'll also give you a cult as well. Doesn't have any skills yet. It's just an incomplete embryo. Okay, so we'll probably call it in grip. Has anybody not completed their beats yet?
I haven't done the second one of mine.
What was the other one?
Perform seemingly unconnected action for your masters that has grim consequences. Unless something I did tonight was really behind the scenes, like maybe the Gnoll dude that we found was working for them or something.
We can do that. I'm cool with that. Or maybe the thing that you encountered when you were in the
Shop.
in the
The
restaurant.
restaurant?
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I reach our landmark on tier 3?
We started there.
Okay.
So, all right. What else?
And I'm assuming my cutting edge experimental friendly made equipment and use it in the delve was my fork.
Yeah, that's your fork. Did you is the tier 3 one major or minor?
Minor.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And then Dan, you got yours really quickly, I think.
yes, yeah, mine got knocked out pretty fast.
Duvesa, you got the one that we can do. The other one you have to go to Moongrove. Morthos, you completed yours as well because we're at two more stations. So you've been Sump, Wellness, Well Station, and Grip.
Nice.
So you got all 3.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Okay, so thanks for bearing with me. I wanted to accelerate to get some stuff done. We'll pick up next week live, hopefully, on the 8th, and I'll put this up at some point on YouTube and Twitch and whatnot. Let me see what else. I think that's about it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to remember. There's something I'm forgetting. I'll forget. I'll remember it like 5 minutes after we get off. I know I'm going to.
That's how it happens.
We'll catch up. We'll do like the whatever kind of shopping or or Fallout and stuff that you want to do. This is what I was going to say. Zenith beats and all like the kind of the top tier stuff. This was session 5. We're a little more than we're about halfway, I think. I would say we've probably got like maybe with the pace we're going like 4 to 5 sessions. I would say 5 would probably be more accurate left to be safe. So if you haven't already like carved out an idea of like what your major like kind of your beats are going to be for the end of it, like if building towards, take a look at it because we're getting closer to that, and the stories are going to start converging a bit at this point.
They're already starting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I need to tell Duvesa. I need to tell you about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. All right, so let's close it down then. So if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on VOD, thanks for checking us out. Defenders of Cobalt, check out their stuff down there. Grim and Perilous, check out Matt's games on twitch.tv/Viander. Check out our games on twitch.tv/The and other places. So thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Yep.